welcome to session one of Song of the Nameless, titled Excavation. As we discussed in the session zero, this group is a contingent of the League of Restoration that has been sent forward to the point where the Yapa River forms into Fortress Lake, and near there are ruins inside the Iapa jungle that they are seeking out. We've already narrated the point of them moving to the lake and then making their way onto the river after a short camping session um, onto a boat. The boat is capable of holding the majority of the group. However, two of the members of the party are forced to kind of exit the boat and remain in conditions not in boat. Those being Gil, who swims alongside the boat, and Scarin, who flies alongside the boat. Being where they're to go, they note that they have an understanding map-wise where they're going, but as they're making their way to this outlet off the side of the Ayapa River, showing dense jungle, it does start to rain. About 20 minutes or so later, they finally see where it looks like the League of Restoration's excavation team has set up their camp. And the site is, to give you just a bit of the atmosphere of what we're looking at here, it's dense. It's very thick jungle with very large, ancient trees and growths. And you're coming up to the location, unable to see much of the structures beyond due to the immersion of the trees, the growth. But you make your way there, and I will pull you onto that map as I also describe what is happening as you approach. So, it'll take a second to load. Map's kind of big, so apologize about that, but kind of necessary for the atmosphere. You see that there are a number of tents, lots of supplies, lots of gear, several people in the tents, some of them kind of lounging about, shadows, nothing more, with little bits and specks of light here and there from a lantern or candle, what have you, underneath the tents. The rain's coming down heavy enough that nobody's really out and about doing anything, but as your boat approaches, you prepare to moor it on that small shore, you see a woman step out of the largest tent and start heading towards the shore to greet you. She does not look familiar. You do not recognize her. But again, she is presumably a member of the excavation team. I would like for Jijo to go ahead and make an intelligence check. This would be just plain intelligence.
Well,
no.
I rolled a 1.
Yeah, great
Good
roll for
start.
the start of the session. So you're not sure whether you know her or not. So again, you're not terribly good with faces or names. So she might be somebody you've encountered in the past. She might not be.
Hello, good morning.
Hey, El. Hi. Can I help you? She says that she's kind of keeping her cloaked hood kind of close as she can. Despite the weather, it is still a bit warm. I would say somewhere in the low 70s, despite the rain. So she, as she approaches you, isn't wearing like heavy clothing to kind of bar herself from the rain, but she is covering her head with a cloak. And she looks like this when she introduces herself. She will introduce herself as such as well. But yeah, she comes out to greet you and help you with the mooring of the boat.
Thank you for your help. We are the special uh, special expeditions crew.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. We didn't get any information regarding that, you know. Yeah, she kind of casually helps you kind of tie the boat off to a bit of, wood and stone kind of here at this point here.
Koyura would like lift up Tommel to make sure, his fur doesn't get soaked in the river, and will kind of toss him onto the shore.
Without shame, accepts the tossing.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, well,
Tom,
I'm sorry they didn't tell you it would be coming.
Tom, well, as you kind of hit ground and kind of look out, go ahead and make a perception check. Okay.
21.
It definitely looks like the people in shadow inside of these tents closest to you are leering. Definitely looks like they're kind of looking at you like very intrigued, but with like very annoyed looks on their faces. The other thing you notice is that they seem to be wearing kind of leather armor and kind of heavier garb than what would be expected of an expedition crew.
So Tommel is gonna wave at the tent and using a little prestidigitation will like throw a little sparkle in the air as he's waving, just like hi.
They kind of give you like a, and then you see one kind of like shrug, kind of move his hood like away, so you're not looking at him.
Can I make note of that one's clothing just in case we need to follow
They're
up
all
with...
wearing very similar clothing.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like they're all wearing kind of leather armor and kind of like heavier garb than you would expect to see on an excavation team.
Oh, it's the ambush.
Yeah, this is Tommel who's seen this, not anybody else. But yeah, anybody else, you can interject whenever you want. Feel free to just cut in. This is a dance party, but you're all the main star, so feel free to cut me off at any point.
So where's everybody at right now?
So you're up in that top corner, and you're just getting off of a boat, which is kind of a longer, 15 to 20 foot long kind of rowboat, which I assume Sarah and probably Dalaran were the ones. Oh, Dalaran were the ones who were actually like rowing.
Okay. So Sarah would jump out the side of the boat and then kind of pull it to shore a little better
Yeah.
and stand next to,
And so while you were doing that, the woman who came out to greet you is helping kind of, get lines out and kind of helping you along with that. So you're kind of getting close to her, and you realize that she is definitely not expedition material, like on glance. Like you've worked with the team or the League of Restoration to know, like there are people who brush dirt and there are people who, pound rocks. This person appears to be someone with a bit of a solidity to them. They appear to be kind of strong. Probably not as strong as Sarah, but still they've got like a very kind of corded frame.
yeah. So I'm going to make sure I'm kind of in front of Cleara.
Okay.
Can you show us to our tents, please? We're getting soaked out here.
Well, we actually don't have much in the way of places for you to rest, but the larger tent would probably be best if you just want to take a second and get out of the rain.
Sorry, is Cobble available? I think we were told we were meeting with a no. Was it Cobble? Turns to Sierra.
There's
No?
There's this moment where she kind of looks over at Sarah, and then whoever you were talking to, and then kind of looks to you. Oh, right, yes. They are inside. They and the team made their way into the ziggurat.
Oh, so they're inside without us.
That's right.
Excellent. Like gives a concerned. Can I try and hide a look as from this person as I turn to the rest of the party, like wide-eyed?
Yeah, sure, you can. But as you're kind of getting out of the boat, Cindrix and are listening to this happen, you just kind of, she sounds off. you don't know what it is. And again, insight isn't a lie detector. It's not like, I know you're lying. But there's definitely something strange about the way she said that, especially since she just kind of used a kind of neutral gendering for the person. Like maybe they don't know that Cobble is, you know, he, him. Like Kira would.
Mm-hmm.
I do that all the time in real life.
Yeah, well, again, you don't know. I mean, it's easier to just go with that kind of neutral mentality. But yeah, it definitely seems like this individual, Inama, as she's introduced herself, did it and kind of had this very, to Cindric at least, had this very strange kind of air about her as she was saying it, like she may not know. There are no townsfolk, Brent. They can't burn down a town. There's no fucking town.
We will find one.
Yeah.
Would I have heard that up from up here, you think?
We'll
So,
make a
I
town
would've-
and then burn
I've
it.
flown in, I would have landed up here.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I assumed was the case, which is why you're not so much really able to hear the conversation, but you're able to look out a bit at the area.
Yes.
And I was going to give you
That'd
some
be-
information regarding that.
Okay.
So, you see the massive tent. It does look like there's a bit of a workspace on the side of that tent, and the other tents appear to be more for kind of the smaller tents, the ones that are closest to you, appear to be more for resting and relaxation, sleeping. The tent in the corner appears to be a supply tent. This one here. So it has a lot of stuff kind of underneath it. And then what you can see beyond that is there is a large totem on the left side that stands about 50 feet tall. That's this here. And you can see that it has indications that it has markers of the God Heart ascending. So basically, at the very bottom, you have Arcan, and then at the top you have Lux. And then you'd also see that there appears to have been a totem over here, but it has been taken over by the jungle. And then the last thing you would note is there's a very splendid looking fountain, probably about 20 feet tall, that still appears to be operational, kind of pouring its water into its fountain space below.
Have any of us met Cobble in person
You
previously?
have, yeah. I
I
would say
have.
that you have at
Okay.
least you. And then anybody who's been here for like more than 3 years probably has run into Cobble. Cobble
So,
is very much
yeah.
an excavational like leader.
Mhm.
And you would know the reason why that is because Cobble used to run with the Mardigan family in his youth, and he kind of has a knack
Very cool.
for uncovering like traps and things that excavation teams might run afoul of.
Gil, this doesn't seem right. Right? Cobble wouldn't just not be here.
Yeah.
Do you say this?
Inama,
Sean?
where is Cobble?
As I said, they're in the ziggurat. Kind of points off.
Oh, I'm sure there's no need for alarm. Let's just get accommodated in our tent and sorry, you want us in the big tent with everyone, not
Yeah.
one of these little tents that's separate
Oh.
from everything?
Almost dismissively, as Fiora kind of like gives her a glare, I'm assuming.
Yeah, like
Inaba kind of like throws back her cloak and starts heading that way, kind of gesturing like as Tom will ask the question towards the tent. And she steps underneath and kind of like brusquely looks at the two inside, who very quickly kind of raise up these strange white masks and put them over their faces.
great. Gil, Zara, Cindrix, keep an eye out. Something does not seem right here.
This tent, how is it opened to
It's
this
basically
area?
four large kind of posts with a
So
tent
it's-
and a hang.
It's like a party tent,
Yeah, it's like a party tent.
almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
None
And
of
we
them
can't
have part that touches the ground.
Okay.
Can we see into it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see into all of them. Like I was saying, like you can kind of see
Okay.
it's kind of like maybe 6 feet high off the ground is where the drop kind of hangs off, and then there's like posts and like a frame that hold the tarp up above. And for
So it's
the,
just to keep the sun and the rain out.
yeah, for the ones that are kind of closest to you, You can see they kind of have like a back spill, and so like the water's kind of rushing off of the back of them into, in the case of the one on the left side, into the like bushes. In the case of the one on the right side, into a little bit of a channel, which you can kind of see like on the map there. But
So I
yeah,
was
she walks
gonna
in.
look.
Go ahead, sorry.
So I was gonna look at Queer. What do you want to do?
Tom will cast his mage armor on himself.
As you kind of throw up the mage armor, you see her kind of turn and look back. She goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's going on?" And she kind of raises her hand.
Oh, I'm assuming we're gonna go into the ziggurat a bit later. I just like to get these things out of the way.
"Oh, no problem," she says, kind of confused, and she kind of gestures towards Queera. "If you'd like, you can see the notes that Cobble left."
Perhaps we should just check in directly with Cobble in the ziggurat. We first-hand information tends to be a bit more interesting for me.
Yeah, if you are interested in braving the problems that we've been having, certainly. But if you want to go in there blind, you can as well.
So at the
Smiles and looks at
mention,
Quiera.
at the mention of notes, Gil is gonna start like moving forward a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to I think we're out of character. I think we're gonna have to like crack skulls anyway. So Quiora will kind of like move forward and remind Scarin and Cindrix and Sar and Gil to, you know, to look at these. I mean, to keep an eye out for anybody, you know. Oh wait, these masks. Okay, what is Imana? What is up with these masks? This is not League uniform.
She points up to the Owlin. I didn't think that the robes of the Wehra were League standard issue either. She shakes her head.
Right, because we
That's just
are
kinda rude.
special excavation.
Perfectly fine.
Special expeditions crew. What?
If you have a problem, you can take it up with the council. We were hired for a specific purpose. We are not exactly League. And that's
What is your
fine.
purpose?
I'm not really interested in discussing that with you. If you have a mistrust of us, you can ignore our tents and our hospitality and you can be on your way, special team. And as she says that, you see the two guys who are kind of sitting there in that room kind of like reach over, grab a hold of crossbows, kind of hold them in their hands looking at you. The crossbows appear to be arbalests, so very large, powerful crossbows that are used to shoot down things that fly. And they kind of look at you menacingly, and she crosses her arms, kind of annoyed. You've been
I
traveling.
mimic the posture.
You've been traveling for a while. You're wet. You're tired. If you don't want to be that, you can stay in our hospitality. You can check Cobble's notes, and you can certainly take any of the research that he's taken. But I'm telling you, the situation is fine without you. You can leave too.
Gil will kind of like nudge Quiora and just be like, we should probably take a look at those notes.
You're right.
I'm scared I
Alright
would have
then.
jumped in by now and said, Tom, everything all right over here?
Cindrix, Scarin, you two keep an eye on Tomil. Gil, Sarah, with me, please.
She gestures towards a book kind of sitting on the table that is half underneath the tent, half outside. The book is close enough that it's not getting any rain on it. And she shrugs. Yeah. We have been seeking a means of catching up with the others. And hasn't been going very well. The weather's been hellish. And cryptic. We're not with the League. But that doesn't matter. We're doing League business. You can use the tools here if you'd like. I'll move some people around so you can get some sleep if you need it. That's fine. If you'd like to take a look at the notes here, also fine. Cobble um, left this. He kind of gestures towards the table. Upon moving the book, you see that there is a strange-looking jade stone that has a binding kind of engraved on it that appears to be serpentine with black and white kind of paint on it. She did. Sorry. They didn't say exactly what they had planned, but it's. I'm doing him a favor. Here.
What do you do in the league?
I don't work for the league.
You don't work for the league. Who do you work for?
Well, since we already have our aggressions out on the table, I'll go ahead and make them worse. We're part of the Checkered Scarves.
What do we know about that?
If anybody here has any kind of background that mattered, or any kind of feature and class features that mattered, you would be told right now what that means, but none of you do. So she kind of drops the name out, the Checkered Scarves, expecting this like negative reaction, but none of you have any idea what she's talking about.
I'm sorry, are we
It's-
supposed to know
That's
what
nice.
that is?
Wow. Wait. You live in Ordris, right?
I mean, technically.
Okay, well I guess you folks don't get out much.
Or we're out too much.
Oh,
We're the Special Expeditions crew. We have a very specific role.
well then great. I don't see why we're having any tension then, if you're unfamiliar with our reputation. Great, good, wonderful.
The reason we don't have any we're having tension is because Cobble is gone, and you don't even seem to know anything about Cobble.
I know more about Cobble than you do.
Okay. What? Okay. Anyway, let me see the notes.
Gestures. So you would note that it looks like a handwriting that you're kind of familiar with, but aren't 100% sure it's Cobble's or not. Would determine that the notes seem to focus mainly on that totem thing outside. It seems that Cobble is under the impression that there are 9 keys, similar to the one that's next to the book, and placing them inside of the totem at specific points will open something about this place. He's very much of the opinion that this is a secret, and the ziggurat proper is a cenotaph, but he is still exploring it in search of any kind of information he can get regarding it.
And the pronouns roulette, was that in character or out of character?
So the main thing is I want you to go ahead and tell me whether you think that Quiora would be very close to Cobble or just kind of professionally close to Quiora. This is important.
I think Kiora is the type of person that's like wants to connect with people and get to know them.
Okay, so
If
then
she is professionally close.
simple enough. You would know that Quiora used to go by a different name and is a trans man.
Okay.
So he, probably in his olden days as a Mardigan, did tangle with banditry type folks like this individual.
Mm,
And that could explain why she's fucking up the pronouns.
okay. Okay. So Kuyura would step away and kind of gather up the crew out in the rain and try to kind of whisper, what do you all think? This is definitely sketchy, but um, I don't know about going right into the um, cigarette without taking a night's rest.
I don't appreciate their hostility.
Me either.
Yeah, I don't.
They did say they were in there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm happy to get a fire started if you'd like me to get started on a meal, but it's not quite dinner time. Looks up at the sky. We do have time to go for at least a short, quick little trip inside. Take a look around.
Yes, anything to get out of this rain, please.
If you do take some time and kind of get into the tent, the two with crossbows will set the crossbows down, kind of leave them be, and go back to their tasks. Like they're no longer like interested in trying to be intimidating.
Mhm.
And you'll note that Inama's attention is very much focused on the fallen totem. She kind of moves to that side of the tent and just keeps an eye out in that area as you folks kind of acclimate yourself in the tent. She says something to one of the two. This guy runs off over to this tent over here and talks to the people in there, and they kind of hustle and bustle and kind of move out of that space and kind of leave it open for you grabbing all their shit. And you would see that they also have kind of pretty bandity looking masks. And definitely look a bit suspicious, but will move about and kind of like gathering up all their stuff. I would say since Tommel, Cindrix, and Skarin, you're kind of close to that tent as that's happening, you would see them kind of like grabbing up a bunch of daggers and stuff, and it looks like a bunch of rogue gear, and kind of moving over to that tent. They very much look like what your brain kind of keys in as a stereotypical bandit.
like a why can't I hold all these daggers moment.
Yeah, like why can't I hold all these daggers? Why I have a tent for the daggers? It's dagger tent.
That was the dagger tent.
Now it's
Oh my
you
God.
guys get to stay there tent. But yeah, they would make that available to you, and immediately upon having a space to go, the attendants of Sarah will move there and start setting up shop.
So we want to move into this tent.
Yeah, if you want. And again, you don't have to move the tokens. I just kind of keep it for, you know, spatial awareness, just in case something happens.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we can all get in where it's dry. Well, Inama,
She
we
kind
may
of
not have
turns her head. I'm sorry. Kind of looks back to you. Yes.
we may not have been aware of each other, but it looks like the council has us working together to some degree.
Yeah, sure. And she
Okay.
kind of turns her attention back towards that area. You hear what sounds kind of like a sound, kind of like an explosion
Sounds like a
sound. Yeah, it sounds like a sound. An explosion sound. I was trying to think of like what the sound would sound like. Sorry, my brain doesn't work sometimes. And then you see two of the bandits rushing out, holding a third person, kind of moving towards the tent very quickly. Anama moves out into the rain to kind of look at them and help, and she grabs a hold of the person, and they all kind of move back into the tent very quickly. The person they're carrying appears to have been burnt, an older gentleman who you recognize because of your familiarity with the excavation team as Alnoth. This is what he would look like, not on fire.
Not on fire. Okay.
Not on fire.
And they kind of move him into the space, and she very quickly kind of looks over to Kira. Do you have a healer amongst you? And as she's yelling that, this guy here is grabbing what looks like a bandolier of like salves.
And I imagine as soon as that body started getting into the tent, Tommel was like pushing Cindrix. Like, go, 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 go.
Hey,
This is you.
I
This
didn't
is your
burn him.
job.
I didn't
Go,
burn him.
Go.
I didn't
It wasn't
burn
me. It wasn't me.
It's the wrong idea. No.
It's okay. You've got lots of experience.
It
This is
wasn't
like your
me.
thing, man.
It wasn't me this
Burning,
time.
not heal.
Burning people is your thing.
Burning people. He's gonna cast healing word and try his best.
Okay. If you cast Healing Word upon this individual, it does seem to relieve him a bit, and the two kind of like are holding him, and he was kind of struggling and shaking. Now that kind of becomes calmer, and the guy who went for the potion, or like the not potions, more or less like a first aid kit on a belt, kind of gets down there and starts going to work, doing what he can. And Inama kind of looks up to you and says, he's the last one of the group that isn't caught behind the goblin wall.
The goblin
The
wall.
goblin.
Yeah. She
Look,
kinda,
nope. Like wall
She
wall
got-
manned by goblins or wall made of goblins?
Inama kind of pulls her hand out to Quiura to like take it, and if you do accept her hand, she'll lead you out into the rain and move you back up to move you on up to the top of these steps. At this point, she points out to the northeast, and high up, about 100 feet in a large ass tree, is a boat. A whole ass boat. It's hanging in the trees.
Oh my.
How that happened?
I don't know, but there's goblins up there, and they don't really like people wandering about on this place in the ruins. And
Oh.
a number of your excavators got caught out by them. We weren't too far off. Obviously, we were in Ordris, and we got a drop from the one you're calling Cobble. Yeah, we came out as soon as we could. We've been here for about a 6 day, and as you are well aware, they've been out here for a few months. So I don't know when this started, and we haven't been able to get a good sound on them because every time we've run into them on what we think are our turns, one of them has a powder keg and blows themselves up, killing a number of our people. So we've lost some of our friends, and you've lost a lot of yours. I don't know where Cobble is.
Oh.
I'm hoping,
Oh Lord.
I'm hoping that he's okay, but last we were told he was going to the ziggurat to find those keys or whatever.
And the entrance will be this way.
To the ziggurat?
Yes.
No, it's to the south. And as she kind of points that way, you should be able to see nothing because the walls are pretty high, but basically it's over this way.
Okay.
Like out that way.
Do the goblin patrols extend into the cigarette?
We don't think so, but she kind of moves back down the steps and then points to where they came out of, which is this door here. The interior has its own problems. Traps. Ancient traps that reset themselves. Magical things. Definitely something that I think, Cobble could tangle with based on his experience. I never was one for traps. The reason I came out here was the reason I'm typically called upon. She smiles and kind of cracks her knuckles. Get my meaning?
Cracking goblin skulls.
Arthritis.
Yes, I'm here for arthritis. She shakes her head. Back to the tent. She kind of makes her way back to the warmth of the tent.
Quiura gives Gil a little like, this guy.
What?
If you're interested, you can certainly explore. Alnoth might be able to tell you something once he is able to make sentences instead of just pain moaning. You're certainly welcome to wait, and you're welcome to everything here since it belongs to you. The League of Restoration. She gestures toward the boxes, and you'll see that this is an excavation site. It just also has bandits.
Complimentary bandits.
And complimentary bandits.
Well,
The bandit add-on package.
I like how we're in this perfect little formation
Yeah. 3x3.
for a fucking
Breath
breath weapon.
weapon.
Okay, well, let's get back out of the rain, I suppose.
The other thing that might be of interest to you, I don't know, but she points to the fountain. That's been very beneficial. It's already been used by Alnoth today, so it won't help him till tomorrow. But if you're able to get a nice big gulp of it, it'll heal you pretty well. It's some sort of fountain of healing. Cobble said something about it. It might be in his notes, but again, that's not my forte.
Gil would go back to the notes and just kind of pick through it for like pertinent information as far as like anything that they discovered before the goblins started showing up.
It's mainly just the totem. Bubble thinking the totem is the key to everything. Getting the keys to it will help. And also a small note about the healing fountain. Narratively, it describes it as a healing fountain. Mechanically, what it would explain to you is if you drink out of it, immediately after drinking out of it as an action, you complete a long rest, but you can only do it once per day.
Cool.
Neat.
Very cool.
Well, I mean, I guess we settle in, right, into the tent. Everyone dries off. Maybe, Tomon, if you can start a fire so we can get dry.
No need. Waves his hands and just casts prestidigitation a bunch of times on you guys until you're dry.
Oh, thank you. His Synders would be trying to help the old man's bird wounds. So, stop
Yeah.
the screaming.
If you'd like, go ahead and make a medicine check. It does look like the guy there is trained, so you'll have advantage on this because he's kind of going at it, but you come in with expertise. Well, okay, advantage not needed. So, in the course of about a short rest, the two of you are able to kind of bind him up, bandage him, and get him to a point where he's rested enough that he's able to kind of come to. And Alnoth kind of, Mistress Kuyura, they sent a special team. Good.
Oh, please, not mistress. You can just call me Kriora or Yora.
I'm sorry, my Jernaran formalities. Kuyura, they're pretty good folk. Cobble's friends here. Kind of nodding at the guy who's kind of finishing off the bandages and making sure they're nice and taut. It does look like Alnoth kind of has like a weird vibe towards them, though, in that sentence.
They're very nice bandits.
They're very nice. Low lives, cutthroat, murderers. As far as that goes, we're trying to find a way to the others through the ziggurat, but moving across the top has proven hard. There is a maze, but a couple of folk got lost in it, and I just tried to use or make my way through there, but well,
Boom.
it wasn't a boom so much as a thing. He kind of looks over at one of the bandits that came out with them. I told you not to touch it. Sorry, it was solid gold. I had to give it a look.
Oh, jeez.
Alnoth shakes his head. It's a false shrine. Fool. I knew it was trapped, but foul trap it was indeed. It would seem that there are beings that live here bound to this place. Kuyura, it looked like they were elementals, but not any I have seen in my travels.
Well, this is certainly very unusual. Tomo, have you ever heard of elementals just taking over a ruin like this?
There are ways to bind a creature to a location. Yes, absolutely. It'd take quite powerful magics, but
I think that was it, yeah.
Well, I don't suppose we can let Cobble and the other League members simply perish in the maze. Um, at some point, we will need to venture in.
Inama kind of looks to you and says, anything we have here that's available, I will let you use it. I am not too terribly certain about any of us traveling into the ruins any further. I've already lost 10 of us. And from what I understand, there's a good chance that others might have seen us leave Fortress and made their way out here thinking that there might be some wealth in it. So who's to say there aren't more of our ilk, but less kindly about?
less contractually obligated.
Plus the
Oh,
goblins
God.
and the traps.
One question for you, sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
Is the
Actually,
place flooded with water?
there are quite a bit of places that appear to have flooding.
Damn
Yeah.
See,
it.
not the whole thing, though. I told you.
It'll be fine. Just float.
The main
As long
issues,
as it.
the main issues we deal with aren't water, though.
Okay.
Mentioned Dragonborn. Most often, the problem that we deal with is with nightfalls. Are you familiar with phantom cats?
Phantom cats.
Do you have
Is
Am
that
I-
an arcane
Does anybody have nature train?
thing?
I
didn't.
do not.
If you have nature trained, you know that phantom cat is a displacer beast. For those who are uninitiated, in order to explain a phantom cat, they prowl the riverbeds. They mostly hunt larger creatures than us, but since we're packed in here nice and tight, it's kind of a buffet. So we've had to kill a couple. She gestures towards the tables outside, and you do see a displacer beast pelt kind of neatly laid out. Looks like it's been kind of dried and skinned and dried. And she, meat was kind of gamey, not terribly great. I wouldn't suggest it, but you know, you do what you do.
Okay. How many hours do we have until nightfall?
Till nightfall, you probably would have arrived probably mid-morning, so you got a good while. Because remember, you camped. There was that conversation during the camp, and took for the water, and now we're here. So.
Oh, right. And then we also kind of had a bit of a short rest
Yeah, so we're closer.
while
to 11.
you
Yeah.
we were healing the.
Yeah. 11-ish.
Okay.
So, dark in spring somewhere around like what 9. So you've got
Yeah.
about 10 hours.
They say what kind of elemental it was, or no?
It was a weird one. It was made of like molten rock and flame.
Oh, lava.
Ooh, sounds lovely.
If you have Arcana trained, based on that description, you can go ahead and make an Arcana check.
23.
Yeah. Clear would be aware that there's a type of creature known as a blister coil weird, which are kind of like small magma elementals. Scaran, you're also familiar. There's actually a lot of them in the mountains that sometimes kind of pop their heads out to cause issue. They're mostly kind of just calm due to their like earth elemental nature. But when they kind of get to you know, messing around, they can be very chaotic in nature, and they're kind of formed of like fire, water, and kind of like a strange kind of earthy sense. Mostly fire and water, though. Kind of rise up out of the ground, and you would know they look like. It'll come up later, but I'll add it to your journal. Let's recoil weird.
Ooh, those are cool dudes.
Ooh.
My gals.
I think blister coil weirds transcend gender, honestly.
Oh yeah, they're elementals.
Look at that.
Oh, true.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's like serving all of it. It's like dripping and hot as hell. We love them. But yeah, that's what Alnoth would explain it as, and yeah, it looked like two of you were able to kind of decipher what that meant. Three of you even. Everybody looks smart.
Smart.
It's quite the opposite of what happens on my Sunday. they just got a wizard.
Oh.
At least they finally
Oh.
got one.
Oh shit!
Oh my
Andy's in the
goodness.
chat. Quick, somebody tell a pun.
Oh my god.
That'll make him smile.
Whoopsie whoopsie.
Wait,
Okay,
is
so-
that chat?
Huh?
Oh, never mind.
In a Twitch chat.
Oh.
So Gil wants to go. Like, he wants to get in there, but also is not that dumb. He's been around a little while. So we coming up with a plan?
Well, yeah, we've got to get in there. There's plenty of daylight. Well, you know, clear our motions up at the storm.
That actually gets Amana or Inama's goat. She kind of. I haven't seen the sun since I've been here.
Ugh,
Great.
God.
Lovely.
Gil just shrugs. He doesn't give a shit.
Ginger just sighs.
Wet boy.
It's either cloudy and rainy, or cloudy and foggy. Those are your choices.
Well, in any
Okay.
case, hours until the damn cats come out.
We're pretty well prepared here. If any of you folks aren't the spelunking type, you can feel free to stay here. We'll keep an eye on you to protect you from phantom cats. Not a problem.
Here I will look around. Any of you looking to stay at the camp?
The three allies.
Oh, I forgot about the
Yeah,
allies.
Daldron is
Oh,
willing,
yeah.
is willing to go, but the other two.
Kuyura would never
We should
expect them.
leave him to protect the other two.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kuyura would never expect them to spelunk. Oh, question. Do we have climbing gear as part of our...
Did you purchase it?
I
don't know.
have a Dungeoneer's
Oh, I
pack.
have money.
But they don't have. Yeah, money's not going to help you here. So what they do have available for you, I do have a preset list of shit that is available on site. Bear with me here.
Okay.
Climbing gear is not a part of that though.
Damn it.
There is.
Got an owlin and a rope.
Yeah, I mean,
That
there's
works.
rope. There's probably close to
I'm 39 pounds. I don't even need the rope.
probably about 500, probably about 500 feet or so of rope available on site. There's rations here to feed, you know, everyone present, even you in addition to it for 3 months, because excavators plan for the long haul. You have a set of carpenter's tools, mason's tools, smith's tools, and woodcarver's tools available on site. There's the journal I mentioned, the Gotthard key. There is also about 10 flasks and about 20 boxes and about 100 just burlap sacks. And so Cleara would be aware that the flasks are for materials that would be considered noteworthy, prized, and require like omission from the elements just to maintain them. This could be like small jewelry, liquid things, other types of relics therein. The chests are for larger relics, things that are treasure, and then the bags are for shit that's considered historically significant, but could be kind of rough and tumbled on the back of a boat or what have you.
Throw Tommel in there.
Yeah, throw a towel in there.
Again, no shame.
I will ride.
Well, we can
Gladly gets thrown in bag and carried around.
could like make a little backpack for Scarin.
Oh yeah, I got to strap on my rabbit back.
Rabbit backpack.
Guys want to see a magic trick? Pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Tommel doesn't have a walking speed anymore.
Okay. Well, I think with the Pythons and rope that I have, and also an owlin. I mean, we might as well just head in. I think before, I mean, we're like fairly well rested, right? Like we're not.
Yeah. You traveled
Okay.
a little bit on boat. The only people who kind of put a lot of effort into that would be Daldrin and Sara, but again,
But their muscles are so big.
they don't
it's
look like they're complaining, right, Kimmy? Like they're high-fiving probably. Like we are so strong.
strong.
And you,
Strong boy.
and you are not.
Drunk.
And then
Hey, we're burning daylight.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so will be said if there's any like thing that you want to do before you start setting out into it, like anything you want to kind of preordain, set up, or do, that's absolutely fine. But other than that, the bandits will kind of keep watch on your stuff, anything that you leave behind. Again, if you trust them or not, it's up to you.
I mean,
I suggest leaving all your things with Daldrum.
Hmm.
That also works.
Also, okay, just FYI for the team, with my artificer fuckery, I do have a bag of holding,
aha.
Ooh.
so we can
Okay.
throw stuff in there as needed.
What you're
Okay,
saying
that's
is we
the
could
plan.
literally do pull the rabbit out of the hat thing.
Yeah.
They don't
I think you
don't-
It
suffocate.
wouldn't last long in there.
I don't think the rabbit will survive in extra dimensional space.
Yeah.
That's fair.
What?
Mm-mm.
The rabbit's magic, though, right?
Gotta be able
This
to
is
breathe.
true, you're
Not
fey.
that kind of magic. Please don't try it. Tommel's the kind of character that might be willing to give it a go. Out of character, please don't offer it to
No.
him.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, so Syndrix. Oh, look, I learned a magic trick. Pulls out.
Pulls out a dead
almost
rabbit.
like-
Isaac gets just
And
blown
everyone
out
is
from the
just
vacuum
like-
space. Just like this fucking
Oh,
horror
first
show.
session.
Everyone is just like jaw dropped, just like, what did you do?
And that's when John introduces sanity rolls to D&D.
Oh, I've done sanity stuff before.
I know.
Oh.
So, again, the bandits, as I mentioned, are kind of doing their own thing. And Alnoth is coming too. I'll get his token up there eventually, probably. But he's not in any state, despite having been healed and a little bit of resting there. He's in no state to kind of go back into the mix. What you're able to see, things of interest that are currently available to you on this first dais of the temple complex, is the overgrowth and knocked over totem. The totem to the north with the god heart. Oh, hanging on the wrong thing. Hold on. So overgrowth, knocked over totem, totem over here, and then there's the fountain, of course, and then beyond that you'll have to kind of explore a little bit. But in the notes it said that the Oru keystone, the god heart keystone that you got, if you take it, it was found on a dais just south of the healing fountain.
And the keystone is that serpentine
Yep.
thing? Okay.
Have you ever seen, and again, it's a movie rife with its own problems, but Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
No, never.
You know the stones that they have in that movie?
Yeah.
About the same look, except this one's made out of jade, so it's kind of got like a greenish coloration to it, and a little bit of transparency, and then kind of coiled around it is an etched serpent that's banded, and they painted in the line to black and white banding, which again, according to the primer we received last session, is of Oru.
Are we leaving the tent?
Looks like some folks are heading up that way.
Yeah.
So, Scarin, as you kind of fly up and land on top of that platform up there, what you immediately notice is as your feet try to kind of get a hold of it, it is very, very slick, and I need you to make an acrobatics check.
Good.
You kind of slip and kind of fall a bit and kind of catch your wing, and kind of fly down to the ground. But you realize that the surfaces on the walls and like on the actual like structures are very slick and like are very hard to stand on or kind of maintain a footing. That includes that wall there. So like you have to come down to ground. You can fly above it, but landing is hard.
Okay.
Before I leave, I kind of want to look back at Anama and ask her, or them, are you sure you don't want to come with us?
I'm sure. I do have plans, gesturing towards Alnoth and the others, to make our ways in. We do have some efforts that we've made. She kind of gestures towards the south, kind of walking out to like point where she's talking about. Down that way, there's a massive tree that looks like it was knocked over. Some of our folks saw some tents and things. We aren't sure what's going on over there. We didn't advance on them, but my plan, once everyone's up to snuff here, is since we can't move through the complex, which is my hope, gesturing towards burned down on, we're going to go over top it quietly and see if we can't engage them. Hopefully they're peaceful, but if they are who I think they are, and they're fell hoods, then it's probably not going to be great. And again, fellhood is a name that just kind of over the top of your head, but based on the name of the checkered scarves, you assume they're like kind of rival gangs.
Yeah, okay.
And I think some of you might have heard of that name before. He was playing in this game.
Just gonna nod and leave then.
Alright.
Yep.
Okay. So entrances to the maze here, right?
Yeah, you got one there that enters into a part of the building, not into the maze.
Okay.
The maze shield node is to the north, so that would be these stairs here.
Okay.
They go up to it. But yeah, the way into the complex, like into the actual structure, the only one that they have so far is this one here. And then there's the knocked over totem, the totem that's not fallen apart, and other things. You know, I've noted that if you want to check out, you can.
Okay. Well, I guess.
Are we going after Cobble? Because didn't Cobble go?
Through the maze.
Yeah. How did Cobble enter?
So
Over.
Anama would say that that entrance into the maze is the way that Cobble went.
Oh, through here.
No.
No,
The maze. This is the maze.
through here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Garen, if you kind of flew up a bit and kind of caught an eye of it, it looks like it's a network of just walls. It looks like a genuine maze. You're not able to make up much of it because the walls are about 30 foot high, and you're not able to get a very good angle because there's a lot of tree materia above it.
Okay.
You think you could fly over top of it, but if the walls are similar to the walls you've already seen, then it's going to be kind of a situation where you have nowhere to land.
And then this is like the goblin boat.
Yep.
Yura, let me walk ahead of you.
Wait, one moment before we head into the maze. Let's take a look at some of these structures. Gil, come with me. Let's take a look at this.
Okay.
And see if there's anything you recognize. Tomo and Syndrix, you should come too. I'm not that informed on the any religious significances. We may need your expertise.
Whatever.
Just to be clear, the cleric is trained in religion, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Those tall
Yes.
ones.
Thank you.
But when you get
Yeah,
over
so's
to
the
it,
rabbit.
it's about 30
Okay.
foot tall, this totem-like structure, and about every 7 or so feet, whatever would break down 50 to 9, there is a different kind of facade. They're all facing inward, so they're all facing towards the stair, kind of, and each one is representational of what you are familiar with being a Vazriel representation of the God Heart. It is very much tyrically from the bottom, Harkan, the Trickster, and Lux, the Order Bringer at the top. And then, of course, down the middle, you have all your different positions. And then each one of them, their mouth is slightly agape, and it looks like inside of the mouth there's a slot that you can kind of set a Temple of Doomian stone inside of.
Ooh.
And the one we're holding would go where?
Oru. So it would go
Or
The top
about-
one.
It would go about
The
middle way.
serpent.
Oh,
middle.
Middle. Okay.
He's full gun. He is neutral.
Yep, dead center.
Okay. Is there anything other than the relationship to the God Heart that is of note here?
Anama will yell out to you.
Syndrix.
When Cobble put the stone in there, climbed up there, put it in, it glowed.
Okay. Well, we're not gonna do that right now.
I'm just letting you know.
Thank you, Inama.
It's a good way to know if we get the answer right, though.
You can see her kind of like mutter something under her breath as she turns back into the tent. Basically, yes.
Okay. So then we'll check out the busted one too.
Where am I?
So when you get over there, you're looking at the totem specifically, Queer,
Yeah.
and Tomo, it looks like you're going over there as well. Is there anything you're going to look for kind of in that space? Are you looking at the totem itself, or are you more looking at like something else? Like again, there's the door to the south, there's the actual overgrowth, if you want to kind of search it, and so on.
I guess for Quiora, I'm curious about any like important arcane clues or details that can be found on the actual broken totem.
So what you'll note is that the markers appear to have warrior structures to them, very stylistically ancient Ordric. You have the shields and spears of their warriors, but there are no people kind of designed on these. It's very much just armaments that seem to be kind of up and along the lengths of the different columns and portions of the columns that you can see here. And Tommel, what were you looking at specifically?
I guess, does this totem also have any like similar mechanism to it, or
Yeah, so
Nothing.
as you're looking at that as well, you'll notice that it is similar in that It appears to have been built in sections,
Mhm.
about 7 foot tall, and like you can see how wide they are on the ground there. But it looks like this one has been toppled over so that the sections have been kind of knocked about. There's actually one that looks like it might have gone over the wall to the south. So how this thing fell, you're not 100% sure. But yeah, it definitely has fallen, and most of the pieces are on this side of the wall. And Scarin, I see you over there. Are you looking at anything in particular? The door, looking into the vegetation, looking at the pillar anymore, asking different questions about it?
Yeah, I was mostly looking at the pillar with them.
Okay, were you looking at the pillar specifically, or like the vegetation that's kind of grown up around it?
Would it catch my eye?
I mean, it definitely is strange in that it looks like it's kind of uprooted the pillar, but I mean, if you want to search it, it's going to require you to say that you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can make an investigation check.
$19.
Okay. So as you kind of make your way down, kind of like looking at it, not able to find a perch because these walls are slippy, you kind of make your way over to it after a quick flight overhead. And you're pretty sure you saw something kind of not quite vegetational, but also not pillory. And as you kind of get down there and kind of start moving your claws through it, you realize that there's a hilt of a sword. And as you kind of grasp a hold of it, pull it out, it kind of has a nice sing-songy metallic sound as it's drawn out. It's a short sword. It appears to be made in the old Ordris style, and it definitely looks like it's very ancient.
Okay, I'm gonna grab it and bring it down with. Actually, I'll fly right over to.
I
wonder
probably heard that metallic like fing, right?
Yeah.
I can cast detect magic at will. Do I see anything?
Yeah, it glows.
Cool.
It certainly glows with the very faint kind of normal, just enchantment magic.
I would have brought it over to Kira. So yeah, look what I found here.
Or rather, enhancement magic. Sorry, wrong
It's it's old.
Indeed,
Real old.
that does look very old. Tomo, did you notice any arcane?
Oh, it's enchanted. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I would like to spend a minute inspecting the item.
Okay.
And he hands it right over.
Okay.
And is that going to allow you to identify it?
Yes.
Okay. It is an ancient short sword.
I
Ancient.
have to do a check though.
Oh, no problem. This one's common. It's going to be super
Okay.
low, I don't care. So, it is an ancient short sword. Ancient is a magical property that is a common descriptor, and an ancient weapon is a +1 attack, +1 damage, but if you roll a natural 1, the weapon breaks. And that will be breaks per our normal conditions for weapons.
Okay. Well, this it's a bit fragile for a short sword. Are any of you going to use it? I doubt it, right?
I don't
Any-
need it.
No.
I'll
Okay.
probably break it.
Staring
I'll
at
take
Trix's
it
head.
if no one wants it. I'll take it.
Okay, Simtrix, be careful with this. Don't break it. Understand?
He nods.
If you break it,
You take the practice leg. Just
Yeah.
Whoa!
I attack the store next to me.
Right.
all right. Kuyura will hand it over.
I'll go on to explain it was lodged in some of the vegetation over in the.
So I'm gonna ask a
toppled
weird
over here.
question. Does it look like this vegetation? Okay. Whole picture. Like, does it look like this monument was like tumbled over like hundreds of years ago, or like?
In sequence, actually, it looks like it was actually toppled over like part at a time. So the growth that
Okay.
you're seeing here, there's a large growth that's coming up from where you think the base was, and the base appears to be that larger section. And then it looks like there's parts that have made their way over the wall to the west, and then there are a couple of parts that are here on this side. So it kind of like lifted it up, kind of caused it to topple, sending some stuff off this side, and then over time, as it continued to grow, the weight shifted the other direction.
Okay. So it's like it was just gradually eroded by the.
Yep. Not so much eroded, but
Oh,
lifted
okay,
and
okay.
thrown.
Displaced.
Now that I have the detect magic going, is there anything else magical that I can see in this area?
That fountain glows.
That would make sense. We know.
Anama's longsword, or sorry, not longsword, Anama's rapier glows. But yeah, everything else, unless it's on your party, which you'd already know about.
Yeah, I know about. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
I would've-
Oh, go ahead, Skern. Sorry.
If I was able to fly up higher, would I be able to see over the wall to see
Yeah.
how else it tumbled?
I think you can actually move through the dark space if you want. Go ahead and give it a try. Yep. So yeah, you can kind of see that it's kind of tumbled off
Brushy.
into shadow, and it's kind of heavy brush. You're not able to see
Yeah.
anything in particular, but you can see kind of how the structural wall on the exterior kind of has like a zigzag pattern to it, which kind of leads you to believe that this was built pyrrhically, and so that not only is the ziggurat built in a pyramidal structure, but the actual platforms, the dais effectively beneath it, is also built in the same kind of layered Cakean fashion.
Aliens.
Inception.
Yeah, and
Alright,
also
cool.
for you, you're able to still see over there now that you moved away from it, right?
Yep.
Good. Explorer mode is working.
Yeah, could not see much past the wall there.
Yeah, it's lots and lots and lots of bushes. Like if you remember the picture I sent you of the jungle, it's big trees and very dense.
Don't want to run into any cats.
Well, thank you for scouting, Skaren.
So what I do?
I guess. Do we want to go check this out, or do we want to just head right into the maze?
I mean, we should go in, yeah?
Go through here or here? Or...
We should
Is,
go back to
Should you help
Cobble.
your friend?
Sorry, the
Cobble?
old man's with us, right?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
old
No,
man
you're
was
staying
not
back.
strong enough to travel.
You're not ready
Right,
yet.
right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
He will be tomorrow. You want to come back for him, or you want to wait until then?
Let's go.
Which way?
Maze? Because that's how
Alright.
Cobble went, right?
No, Cobble
Yeah.
went through the door,
maze.
not through the
Cobble went
maze.
through the maze.
Oh,
went
through the maze.
Through the
Sorry.
maze.
He went through the maze, yeah.
Not through the.
Alnoth and the bandits
I'm
were trying to
so-
find. Okay, so real quick.
Yeah,
Alnoth
sorry.
and the bandits saw people to the south when they were exploring where the stone was taken from. And when they were doing so, to the south they saw a knocked over tree, and there was movement over there, like people movement. So they retreated away from that, not having been seen, and are currently planning on going to get them. They initially wanted to do so by moving through the complex, and their efforts just failed in that regard. So that tomorrow, when they're ready, they're going to go over the structure and try and engage those people. So there are known elements to the south, and I think you should be able to see the fallen tree, right? think
Yeah,
that's fallen tree.
I can see it.
Yep. And then there's the door, which may lead inside of the structure proper, but it's definitely not a safe method because there's blister coil weirds. 2 of them is what Alnoth says. And then
We have a little thing here.
the maze, that passageway. Yep, there's a staircase that heads down. That's correct.
Where Scarin is.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a very narrow staircase. Looks like it's kind of filled with roots. But if you kind of take a blade to them or kind of move that way, you can certainly get through. Looks like it descends down, but you can't really see what it descends down into. But yeah, just so we're all clear, the maze is what Anama referred to as this place. And seeing it from above, as you did, it looks like it's a series of 30-foot high walls that kind of bar you from moving from one point to the other, and it appears that you have to kind of move through them to kind of gain ground, unless you're just flying over it and ignoring it.
And this area is like kind of goblin territory,
The boat is said to be the goblins'
or only the
headquarters.
boat? Okay.
And the presumption is because it's raining right now and it's not foggy. They're probably not like running around. Nobody likes being in the rain.
Aw.
Except us.
That. No, not me. That's Cindrix.
Cindrix is in hell right now.
Yeah, he's
Bill
very
is just
grumpy.
like, yeah.
Stomping around, silently pissed off that we're still
Yeah.
standing outside and not going in anywhere.
Looks out at Tom
Yeah,
and says, I know it won't last, but can you just hit me with another precipitation?
Yeah.
Just a moment of respite.
He jones in for it.
I was dry for about a nonce.
Silently suffering.
Shield over your head. Good.
Yeah. Try to.
Okay, well,
It does look like there's less rain kind of hitting in the maze, though, and that's due to the fact that a lot of the branches and kind of over top, like, is kind of heavy over it, which makes it harder for you to kind of fly, kind of directly over top it. But like you have a bit of space there. You'd also think that if the goblins are watching, flying over it might not prove smart either.
Yeah, it's a great way to take a couple dozen arrows.
Well, that's what I figured. So
Or just sling rocks. Like, it just.
he's like,
you know,
Right.
you multiply it 40 times.
I'm
It
gonna
still
hit at
fucks
least
you up.
maybe they throw a power keg at me or some shit. Who knows?
Let hit at least 4 times. That's enough to kill. But yeah, whichever direction you want to go. Now, I know you're trying to do it democratically, but keep in mind you were nominated as party leader.
I know.
So you can just make a choice. You did it before, and everybody followed you right to where you wanted them to go. So
Well, I suppose we can go this way. Sarah, stay close,
as you kind of,
and
go ahead.
everyone be out on the lookout for any traps.
You don't want me in front, Yura.
Honestly, no.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. I'll cover the rear.
No, you don't. I got
Oh,
Oh, the voice.
No, yeah. Get in the middle.
As you make your way to the top of the steps, what you'll notice is the sound of rushing water, kind of, despite the rain, is audible. You see that there is a small series of channels. Looks like the water's coming from the north down into this strange-looking device and splitting off in 2 directions, one to the west and one to the east. It looks like the strange device is probably about 4 inches off of the ground, kind of like a strange metal button that's kind of set inside of. The best way I can describe it to you is it's like a roach trap. It's got like holes where the water's coming out and holes on the sides, and it's just kind of like this platform that's kind of built up over the top. The best way I can kind of describe it to you. But that's what it looks like, and it looks like the path that would lead north is the path into the maze proper. All the walls that we're looking at here, even though you can't see through them, just leaving it open because you have a flyer, and the presumption is that you'll kind of see if you want to. But it looks like the walls are about 30 foot high in this space.
okay.
And very, 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 very slick. Not just with rain, but just her own nature.
So,
Slime.
so I'm looking around, looking for traps. Do I perceive anything trap-like?
Nope. It does look like the metal button is a pressure plate. What it does, you don't know.
Is it on the ground or on the wall?
It's on the ground, and so
Oh.
it's basically the canal kind of moves into it, and then it
Oh, right
parts
there.
off. Yep.
So I'm gonna use my mage hand to like bump the button.
It hits the top of it and does nothing. You can't. It doesn't seem there's enough power behind the mage
Force.
hand to push it down.
Rock on it.
I should be okay.
Probably
alright.
not.
Maybe I
So the
take a look.
channel goes through it. So
Hold
is
on.
it like a potential flood?
Well,
Trout.
no. It doesn't
Blood?
look like that's the
Blood?
case. But Syndrix, you kind of start looking around for a rock. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of size rock are you looking for? Just
You know,
look at-
it's like a good hefty size rock. Like it's
Define-
not like too.
define like the kind of dimensionality of the rock you're thinking of. 'Cause
Kind of
there's
like
plenty of rocks.
Yeah, I guess.
How many tommels?
Yeah,
How many
probably
tallest
about like
does the rock weigh?
yeah, probably 2 tommels, like a good.
Good 80 pounds then.
80
80,
pound
90
Yeah.
pounds.
Okay. So you move that and set it on top.
Yeah, then immediately run out of.
Okay. Decent sized brick. You kind of place it on top, and as it kind of sets there, all of you watch as it kind of like lops to the side, as the button is not depressed underneath the weight of it.
I use
Even
my
more
hand.
proof that I'll be safe.
It definitely, Citrus, to your vibe, it definitely feels like it is depressible. It doesn't look like it's not depressible, but your presumption on that effort is that it's going to require more weight.
We just all stand
Do you
on
want me
it.
to stand on it?
You know, Quiura, since you're an artificer, go ahead and make an Arcana check, since this is kind of key to it's mechanical.
15.
Yeah, it's good enough. Based on the weight of the stone and the fact that it didn't depress at all, didn't even hit middling, your presumption is about 200 pounds is going to be required to cause it to
Oh.
depress. So a person, like medium-sized and like full gear, might be able to do it, especially if they got like a full 100-pound pack, you know. They're going to be able to do it. There are definitely blocks out here that can do it. Getting them up here is going to be a little less easy than Citrix just kind of reaching over, grabbing one, and taking it over. Might require a couple folks doing it, but it's not impossible.
I'm 175. If I hold the rock, maybe I can.
Yeah, if you also have your gear, that's probably not
Oh,
on
yeah.
there. Yeah, so you like if you step onto it just now with all your stuff
Yeah.
on, you're probably going to depress it. Do you want to?
Kuyura will help her up.
Yeah.
Onto it.
As long as Yura's okay with it, I'll step on it.
Okay. It depresses. The second it does, the canal water that goes from left to right stops, and to your right, you hear kind of in that sequence. What that means, you're not sure.
Boom, boom, whoosh, boom.
Do you step off of the button?
Yes.
Okay. The water starts to flow again, and after a fashion, you hear a. The sound effects are very important.
All right, I'm gonna step on it again.
Press the beatbox buttons. Press the beatbox buttons.
Hey, could you do it one more time, please,
Pop
just so we
it.
make sure we hear it right?
Gurgling
Pull it.
dinosaur
Oh, man.
whooshing
Just
sound.
one more time, please.
Step on and off. Okay.
It's gonna if you
Step
step
off.
off of it. It's gonna make the sounds again. From your perception, mechanical in nature, Quiura, it sounds like in the first instance a door is being open, and in the second instance, when it's allowed to be normal, a door is being closed. So it sounds like a door is open when the button is depressed, and a button being up causes the doors to close. The doors are to the right of you. Where they might be, you're not 100% sure exactly. Due to the
Do you
nature of
want
the
me-
walls, it's kind of like echoey, so it's over there, but where, not sure.
Sarah, I'd rather we not just leave you here for the rest of our exploration. Could you and Cindrix get a 200-pound rock onto the button?
Yeah.
So they take some effort.
Good.
Go ahead, Citrix. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
The two of you take some effort and grab some rocks, like a larger block down that way, and manage to kind of get it over. And then with Quiura kind of guiding, you're able to set it up in a way that the weight is perfectly dispensed onto the button, and not in a fashion where it's all just on top of it, easy to topple over. Once that's done, as the doors open again and are left open with the blocks on top.
Well, let's hope this doesn't flood the chambers.
Karen, do you want to kind of
Chambers.
try and get an eye as to where those might be, or do you want to stay grounded and not fly up? John, if you're talking, you're muted, bud.
Oh.
And if you're not talking, then you're making pudding. He's making pudding.
I'm not.
You are muted.
It was.
Fair.
If I can do it very quickly,
If you want to go ahead and make a stealth check, you can go ahead. And
I would
give it a
love
go.
to. Actually, I would love that.
Yeah. So you kind of fly up and kind of just reach out, kind of grab a hold of the wall. It's not something you're able to do for long, but you're kind of like holding onto it for just a second, peeking your head over. You look down and it sounds like the sounds are coming from this pit trap. Somewhere around this pit trap. Where exactly, you're not sure. You can't see the door. But you definitely know that the sounds seem to be echoing up out of there. The other thing you'll notice, as you kind of very quickly kind of pop up, is there are 3 goblins on the rail of that boat looking out in that direction now. They have bright red liberty caps. I don't know if you know what a liberty cap is, but if you know what The Legend of Zelda and the character Link is, his cap is called a liberty cap. Big, just
Oh
like
Lord.
cap. And they're kind of like very menacing looking, and they have crossbows that they've kind of settled over the railing. They're not as big as your bandits' crossbows, the arbalists that they have, but they're pretty decent size. And I'll go ahead and give you, since you've seen the creature, I will show you the red top goblin. These one in the picture is obviously armed with scimitar and shield, but standard fare for a goblin.
Let him go.
Crossbows.
So he'll kind of pop up there, pop down. He's like, well, there's a pit trap and definitely some goblins up on the boat looking at us. So they are watching.
Do they look armed?
Yes. Not as armed as our bandit friends.
Okay.
Oh, retroactively, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yes.
That's good, 19. The crossbows didn't seem as big as the arbalists, but they had very strange looking crossbow bolts. You weren't really able to decipher, like, what that means, other than they look like they have, like, very strange looking kind of tubes on the sides of the shaft of the bolts.
Okay. Well, yeah, not as big as the arbalist, but weird bolts I've never seen before. Tubes. Doesn't seem aerodynamic.
Queer could be an impact detonation device, so something that when fired and hits will cause an explosion in whatever is in the tube.
Well, whatever it
thing.
is, it's probably dangerous.
Well, good thing I didn't go flying around. How about that?
Agreed, Scaran. Well, we'll have to be very careful as we traverse. How sneaky is everybody?
Light.
I have disadvantage on stealth.
Very
What is that?
sneaky.
Yeah, I'm not a
Hey.
sneaky type of person.
I'm proficient, I guess you could say.
Okay, well, we'll have to stick to the walls. Try not to draw too much attention as we search out the door. Kuyura will move forward this way, kind of with her back kind of to the wall as much as possible.
What you immediately notice is that the canal or channel that kind of led to the button trap or button device, not really a trap, comes in from 2 different directions. And it seems that to the sides of it, you could see that the walls jut out just a little bit, as if there's like a gutter inside of them. And so it seems that the water is actually runoff that's coming into this space, kind of flowing down into the channel. Directly in front of you are 3 sets of steps that go up about 15 feet, so they're more long than they ascend, if you understand what I mean. Looking at them, though, it definitely looks like they are very, very suspicious. They have a very just you're pretty sure, just looking at them without me saying anything, that they're trapped. They look like they're primed for traps.
Okay. Do I notice any mechanism that can be triggered?
Go ahead and make an investigation roll. See if you can figure out the nature of the trap. It definitely looks like they are trapped, though. So from what you
22?
can tell, each one of the steps is a pressure plate. And it looks like each one of the steps has small holes, total of 6 per step. So your presumption based on what you can see mechanically is step on step, spike, shoot up. Each step. All 3 sets.
Oh.
You're also very familiar with the Ordurus people in their past having false traps to muddle the situation further.
And will someone get the stones?
Well, we need some of those stones to remain on there, so we can keep the door open. Can I mage hand it to see if like spikes will pop?
Similar to the button, you're pretty sure the
Not enough
pressure
weight.
requires more than 10 feet or 10 pounds.
Do I see? Is this a space that
Yeah,
we can move
there's
through?
a passageway there, and there's also a small little click back here as well. Oh wait, I'm pinging in GM layer. There's one here, and then there's one here.
Scarin, do you see anything in there?
A whole lot of nothing.
It looks like there's a small bit of water that's kind of built up, like a puddle. It does look like there's some markers on the wall back there, Scary.
Can I shimmy?
Yeah, it's a
Shimmy,
little
shimmy.
narrow. It's a little narrow. You kind of tuck the wings in, kind of bring yourself,
Yep.
sliding on through. And as you kind of make it into that back corner, this kind of wall here shows a relief of very crudely drawn, like, pit and spikes. And then it shows 3 people stepping into it. The person on the left is falling in. The person in the middle is falling in. The person on the right appears to be stepping out over the pit, as if he's walking over top of it.
Yay, first puzzle.
You mind saying that one more time?
The person on the left of this crudely drawn pit is stepping in and appears to be falling in. The person in the middle of this design is stepping forward and falling in. And the person on the right appears to be stepping out over the trap as if he's walking over top of it. And again, they're kind of like
Okay.
just humanoid figures. I'm assigning P because I'm defaulting to that.
Right.
Okay.
And then
Patriarchy.
Yeah. And
we know that this pit is here because Scarin saw it, right?
Scarin saw it, yep, for just a second, not very much. And Scarin would have also informed you that the sound of the doors appears to have come from that pit trap. Or near
Yep.
it.
Okay. Gil wants to walk on the right hand side of it.
Okay. On
Like,
the right- on the
Wait,
right-hand
of the
side
pit?
of the-
Yeah.
You're not there yet. These walls are 30 foot tall.
yeah, like whenever they get there, he's
Okay.
gonna be like, oh,
We have a plan for the future.
Well, it
Yeah.
could be this too. No?
Well, no, it's displaying the pit trap,
I'm not saying shit.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Try
mean,
the
he'll
right
try
stairs.
the
Try the
right
right
hand
stairs. Try the right
Yeah.
stairs.
Gil will tentatively try the right stairs, like step onto it with one foot, and then
Okay. Yeah, so you're going,
Try to avoid the holes.
you're going onto the right side.
yeah.
Okay. You step on the step. You hear a click sound.
Uh-huh.
And everyone like you kind of like tensely kind of like wait, and everyone just kind of tensely watches. And that's it.
Okay.
You
He's
continue
all
with
like,
the steps.
okay, let's go. Yep.
Each one does the exact same thing. So each moment it's like
Ah!
every single step on the right side has no mechanism for anything that happens. Nothing other than a clicking sound.
Gil, you absolute maniac.
What?
Joey, after the first 3, you're just like
It's
So-
fine.
Click, 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 click.
popping on up.
Scarin will just fly up there.
Yeah, just like a quick like dash of the wings down as you kind of like zoom
Right.
straight up the stairs and like hit the top.
So brave.
Yeah, he was said,
Just like
good luck.
leaning against the wall, casually picking at his nails once they get up there. What's taking so long?
But it seems the
Come,
right
Sarah,
path
let's
is
move
good.
forward.
Did anyone check the other side though? I know you were
Oh,
talking about
fuck,
it.
I wanted to
Oh.
do that.
Okay.
No, we
If you do pop around there, you do see that there's a staircase that heads down about 10 feet, and it goes to a point where there is a small little hallway that goes underneath the wall. But then it seems to be filled out with roots to the point where you cannot see through them. It's a complete wall of vines and roots and thorns. And it's like underneath the wall. It's probably about 40 feet from the top of the wall. So 10 feet below where you were just standing a minute ago.
Well, this doesn't really look passable. Cindrix, you want to try to burn through it?
I'll be more than happy to. Okay.
Citrix, do you have nature train?
I do not.
Okay, go ahead and do what you want to, burning wise.
Oh,
Okay.
Have what trained?
Nature.
Nature.
Oh.
Guess do the old fire breath would do. Hold on, let me go.
Okay.
So you want me to?
Unleash your breath weapon. We'll just say it does max damage against this, doesn't matter. But you very quickly realizes this is not flammable. It does not burn. But
it's
no,
too
out
wet.
of character for those of you who don't have nature trained. And when you talk to somebody who does, they'll kind of laugh at you. Green vegetation is not flammable. Despite what video games might tell you, it does not happen.
you
burn-
need a
burn
Bulbasaur
dry
with the tea and
forests.
cuts.
Jungles don't burn to the ground.
No.
You know what, John?
No. It's very.
Where's my
soil,
Bulbasaur?
so-
But yeah, you do leave a nice charring on it, and kind of do damage a bit of it, but it does not engulf it and like cause it to turn into ash and anything. But it does look like it's very thick. If you had to venture a guess, Kuyura from watching and Cindrix from experiencing, you're guessing that it's probably a good 5 foot of just roots and mess.
Impassable.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a good stress reliever.
Well, glad you feel
Well,
better.
you're out of the rain. You just burned everything in front of you, and you're in this kind of like nice warm area for a second, like a furnace.
Right?
Can I live here?
Yeah. Can
I go up
you
there?
guys do this, and I'll just wait in here.
Back up the stairs.
We go back into the rain. Shit.
He sighs. But like we going out.
The sigh actually
nice
has
com-
like smoke come out.
Yeah.
Aw.
Little
smoke rings.
sizzles.
Yeah.
Love it. So once you get to the top of the area, kind of move around the steps. I think the first person probably to look at it would have either been Gil or
Yeah.
Scarin. So we'll just say it for both of you. There is the wall is now about 20 feet above you, because you ascended about 10 feet, right? In that corner, you can see that there's a totem, but this totem is very humanoid figure. It's kind of just like a very kind of taut, like in stout individual with like hands kind of in a prayer motion and like a face, right? Its eyes appear to be peering down at the corner. And the two of you can go ahead and make a perception check in response to seeing it.
15.
Okay, so you're looking at it, confused, but Gil, you kind of follow the line of sight there, and you see that in the corner, directly where it's looking, there's a brick that has like a bit of red paint left over on it. Like it's a strange brick that seems to be out of place, and most of these bricks are very large. This brick seems to be kind of nested inside of the larger bricks, but is smaller.
Definitely would go start fucking with that.
Yeah, you pop out a dagger or whatever kind of, implement you have, tool-wise,
Yeah.
and you're able to finesse this brick out. And when you do and kind of look inside, a little bit of the light, not so much sunlight, just the light that's getting through the clouds, kind of peering in, causes a small shimmer of silver.
Ooh.
You
Yeah,
reach
he
in.
gonna reach for it. Yeah.
Roll a dexterity. No, I'm kidding.
Right? Honestly, worth
No,
it.
not this early, not this early. Soon, though.
It's
You
like
reach
the
in,
mummy.
you feel something that feels kind of key-shaped, and as you kind of pull it out, you see that it is a bright silver-looking key, in very much the
Oh,
old
yeah.
style of
Like skeleton
the
type
Ordris.
key.
Well, it's not a skeleton key. Kuyura would actually be able to identify this kind of key. In a lot of old Ordris like structures, they have what are known as silver keys. Silver keys work on the doors to this location. Once used, are destroyed, and only work on one door,
Oh, it's a magic key.
like a Zelda key.
Hell yeah.
Fucking consumable
That's-
keys. Great.
Do I get to
Key.
spend 20
Oh.
hours chasing and catching horses, though?
Yeah.
We can.
Okay.
I had
So if we do a water
I had
temple,
one.
I'll be pissed.
I had Lon Lon Ranch in one of these Tuesday games.
Hell yes.
That happened.
Llama Ranch?
Lon Lon Ranch.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's awesome.
that's awesome.
All right.
Okay. So you have a silver key. Go ahead and notate that, Gil.
Silver key.
But yeah, it looks like the passage leads around. On this northern side, there does appear to be an exit out of the maze and out of the complex proper. It looks like it's a stair, or not a stair, but it looks like it's like a path that leads into the forest. And almost like 30 feet that you can see down it, it immediately just appears to be overgrowth. Just a hot mess. But in the overgrowth, Scarin had nature trained, right? I hope so. Druid, right?
About that.
Oh.
God damn it.
I do.
Okay, Sarah.
I do.
So Sarah.
Listen, I ain't gonna say shit. I had a cleric without religion.
Yeah.
Okay, we also have a ranger too, so I don't think the
Don't look
druid
at me.
More of a,
needs to
more of a
take all the
survival.
shit on that.
Do you not have nature
Type.
kill? But Sarah
Don't
has
look
it.
at me.
That's fine.
So as
Sarah, as you
let's
look
go.
out, the overgrowth, you would notice that there are very clear telltale signs that creatures have moved through these in recent history by cutting through vegetation. Some of the growth has kind of come back or kind of weighted, like, you know, above it has fallen through and kind of created the barricades again. But it does look like that you can kind of see the telltale signs of like sharp blade cutting through vine, or kind of like, you know, leaf and such being kind of discarded to the side by sharp cuts. That make sense?
Yeah.
Just someone came in here from there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gil would have
shit.
shown Quiora the key and then put it back in his pocket.
Okay, don't lose that.
Sarah would also tell about the exit and how you can tell that it's been cut by blades. So
Oh.
people have walked this way.
No, that's.
Only
Maybe it was
keep
the
an eye out.
goblins.
Okay.
Oh, there's room and shit.
So as you come around that corner and are kind of there, what you will note too is it does look like that this wall, if someone were very, very skilled at climbing, would be able to get within like 50 or so feet of the boat, but within 20 or so feet from branches that look like they've broken away a bit from the kind of higher nest of the boat. And it looks like there's some ropes, and some of them look like they've been cut away too. That it looks like there might be a way up to the boat here for very skilled climbers.
Hmm.
Toss me.
Does she wear?
It does look like some people kind of ended up on a wall. Just gonna move. Yeah, there we go. This is the wall.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a very narrow space. It's okay. I just wanted to make sure that you're not like, you know, well, what's this over here, and you're not even there yet.
no.
So yeah, you'd cycle around and then kind of come to this point here, which would be the next point. Queer, as you're the first one who seems to be approaching, you'll see that there are two small alcoves off to the side, and it looks like there is a pressure plate on the ground, similar to the steps. But what you notice is that the what you would note as a trap appears to have already been detonated. As you can see, two bright silver blades, very round, kind of in those alcoves, covered with blood. And it looks like there are three parts of what appears to have been a goblin kind of mangled about. It looks like half of the bottom half was dragged north of where you are. Like some scavenger and some other creature from the jungle came out, found it, took it, as it now.
Can we reset the trap?
Queera could try.
Get more goblins.
I think would probably be the only person who might have a chance.
Let
Tom?
me see if I can figure it out.
Tommel can help. I think this would be an Arcana check for this.
Tomo, do you want to take a look?
Whoever has a higher Arcana, yeah, that's fine.
21.
Yep. So 21 without. Okay. So you would know that resetting this trap is impossible. Yeah, absolutely impossible. It looks like the trap is reset somewhere else.
How fresh is the body?
Probably not fresh at all. Like, there's a good stink to him. Like, he's been here for a while. You can make a medicine check to determine exactly how long he's been here. You can make it on train.
I just want to make sure, like, it wasn't like within the day. 'Cause,
Sure.
You know, the animal might come back for
You know
more
it's
scraps.
definitely not within the day. And
Okay.
Gil would be able to tell that it's been about a month this creature's been dead.
Oh, okay.
Gross.
Which, based on your kind of description of what happened with the excavation team, matches when they started getting problems with the goblins. So this next bit is kind of a narrow pass, and you kind of go to the left or to the right, your choice.
The right, I would say.
And you kind of have to do one of these little like sidewalks or kind of like
Jimmy.
kind of crouch in. And when you get to that point, you can see that across the way there is a metal bar that's kind of ascended above this massive pit. It goes down as far as you can see with your dark vision and further. It looks like you could leap out to that metal bar and stand on it. It's got a nice kind of flat top to it, but with everything being covered in rain and slick as it is, it's going to be a tall order to maintain balance on it.
I don't trust that. Not at all.
Yeah.
Skaren, we might need your help over here.
Is this the pit with the spikes?
No,
Or is it just a pit?
But
it's not the spike pit.
What I will say for Scarin, as you kind of come into that narrow space, you know that your wings are too large for you to ascend upwards easily. Or to ascend anywhere besides upwards easily. You could ascend straight up fine, but if you're wanting to shoot forward, it's going to be difficult for you to do. Muted.
Oh yeah, he'll kind of like puff his wings out as they hit the side of the walls and look at her like,
Well, so much for, we have an owl and everything's fine.
I
like to get tossed.
Chicken out, it'll be a good idea.
Tell Bill no, we're not tossing you.
Nobody wants to throw me.
What if we tie him up with a rope so we can reel him back easily?
Shot put in
How
the
about that,
chest,
huh?
please.
That's not a bad idea.
Did the owl just Gino?
Maybe for a second. I'm working out what I want to do for a voice.
No worries. I love that.
Forget about it. I'm an owl, huh?
Forget about it, yeah. I'm flying here.
Oh god.
Okay. So yeah, again, if you want to tie someone off before they jump out onto it, that's a possibility. There's also kind of like a narrow that looks like you can get to point over here, but it looks like traversal. You can fly over it, to be sure. If you go back out, fly over the top and kind of get out there, but it's going to give you a longer window of being up in the air, which might be problematic.
Is there any wood around? Any long logs or?
If you go back into the woods there a bit, you could probably find a decent sized kind of branch, but all that's going to do for you is give you a means of getting out onto the bar, and you're going to have to balance across to get to it, and then you'll have to move across the bar. So it's kind of a situation where it's like
It's not adding. It's
it's helpful. It's not you know, it's not hindering you in any way. It's just
But it
not.
doesn't.
It's not like it's not going to resolve the whole problem. Is what I'm saying.
yeah.
Okay. And you said there was another pathway to the left.
Yeah, and it'll kind of come around and it'll lead you to another side of it. You'll see the same thing. However, this one, there's a wall on the opposite side, so if you were to jump across and get your footing, you can kind of slam into the wall for a bit of balance. Whereas on the other side, there's no wall, it's kind of falling out, so you kind of like fly forward and...
And then you could shimmy all the way down.
Well, you can shimmy across the bar
Yeah.
to where you need to go, which would be, yeah, that jump off there.
Okay. Gil would probably try and look at that other. It's here?
Here.
Yeah.
You want to jump across?
Yeah, he'll give it a go.
Go ahead and make an acrobatics check. Yeah, no problem. You hop across, nimbly stepping onto the metal bar and kind of placing your hand on the wall on the opposite side, and are able to maintain your balance, very quickly getting your footing onto it. It's actually less slick than you were expecting, based on the kind of shimmer shine it has from the rain. But it has like a
Okay.
nice kind of like, as you kind of get your footing on it with your boot, you can kind of, or if you don't have shoes, I don't know if you're a shoe wearer, as you kind of get your footing, you kind of feel that there's like a nice kind of
I'm so sorry. I just thought of something.
planishing is the word I was going to use. It's kind of like someone hammered the top of it to kind of create a
Oh, okay. Like some sort of texture.
Yeah, texture
or
to it.
grip.
Yep. Go ahead, Tom.
If I'm reading the spell correctly, could just cast web, and it'll be difficult terrain, but we could all walk across the web because it's 20-foot area, 20-foot cube.
Absolutely.
So it costs a second level spell, but we all just walk across without any problems.
I mean, I'm already.
Gil's already out there. It's up to
Yeah.
you. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't. It's a good
Is that-
solution.
It's a good
It's
idea.
more. It's yeah. I like if other people are concerned about making that jump, like I'll do it.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, cool.
So go ahead and throw the spell out for me.
Oh dear lord, it's flammable.
When given the chance to jump over an endless pit, Gil is going to do it. It's.
So as long as the creature's able to move very quickly across it, they won't get stuck on it, or they won't have a chance to get stuck on it. So that's actually pretty great. So what
Right.
you do is you'll kind of flare it out so that it kind of wraps into that corner, and everybody should be able to take the dash action 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, everybody should be able to make it through in a dash. So you kind of just say, hoof it, just kind of pull yourself as quick as you can, keep your feet, moving. Because it's, when they enter it, they have to make the dex saving throw.
Yes, so we might all
Get stuck.
get stuck.
Okay, so.
But you can keep making the thing for up to an hour. Like
Yeah.
you can
And
keep
I'm not
making
in it, am
strength
I?
checks for up to an hour
You'll
to get
eventually
through.
tumble your way through.
Yeah.
I get you. Gil, you're already through. You can be here, so you don't have to worry about the webbing stuff. And I will say, we'll go ahead and roll it, and if we kind of get to a point where it looks like someone's going to be rolling around in it for a little while, we'll go ahead.
We can RP that for fun.
Yeah. So everybody go ahead and make a dex saving throw besides Gil.
Sindra just wants to tuck his cape in too, since it is on fire and it's concerned.
You are all failing.
It's continual
Oh.
flame, so it won't work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it won't burn.
Okay.
So Tommel, you are locked in your own
Yep.
spell. Scarin, you make it across easily enough, and Cindric, you're also kind of stuck in it. At the first onset, you're trying. Everybody go ahead and roll it again. John, you're through.
Now it's a strength check.
Strength check
to
to
break.
free. Okay.
Yep.
Oh God.
And it's a strength check, not a strength save.
Oh, okay.
No,
Oops.
sorry.
Check.
Yeah, my bad.
It doesn't change anything for me.
Tommel, you're
I made it out.
You're fine as well. Gio, that's no different.
Okay.
You don't have.
Gil will pick Tommel up
I'm
and
sorry.
just kind of
am
like
I?
put him over.
Sarah, you're making a strength say or check. Yep.
Perfect.
Okay.
So you have proficiency in strength save, so it doesn't matter. You roll a 1, but yeah, you
Yikes.
don't make it out.
I
You're still
trapped
stuck
the
in it.
barb.
Okay, so what I'll say is after about, I'm going to say, based on rolls and looking at it, after about 10 or so minutes, they struggle enough to get through. But due to the fact that this is taking quite a long time, during the last few seconds of this, them pushing through, there's a lot of effort and a lot of motion going down there. Scarin, Fura, you made it across, and Gil, and Tommel made it through as well. You can go ahead and make perception check.
We're getting goblined.
Yeah, you make a lot of noise right underneath them. Gil, you look up and see that they've moved up on the top there, and it looks like they have kind of a firing pattern set up. This is before
Alright.
the others make it across. So I'm going to go ahead and place you where I think you would be based on rolls so far. And this is during the kind of last instance of the 10 minutes. So you've made it pretty far, but you're during the initiative portion here, you're going to be struggling to kind of make it through the web. Sound good for everybody?
Yeah.
Yep.
So they are taking position. They are not firing yet. They are just getting ready to do so. And you'll also note that as it begins, you hear kind of a loud kind of reeling sound. And Cleara, you see what you know to be the mouth of a cannon coming out of this cannon side here.
Fantastic.
Oh.
It doesn't look like it's pointing down at you. It just looks like it was thrown out there. So you're aware that it's not going to be able to angle itself down. Bows don't shoot down. But they pulled it out there for some reason.
Like, hey, look at us, we're cool.
Yeah.
They're gonna shoot a goblin at us.
I should have gone.
God.
That wasn't initially the plan, but
That'd be funny.
God damn it. Fucking goblins.
everybody roll initiative.
I should have. Oh.
Oh, I like this music.
Me too.
It's cute.
Everybody on? Looks like it. Perfect. Okay, Scarin, you, I don't know what you got on your perception check. I do know what you got on your perception check. Wait, no I don't.
Didn't
battery.
make one.
A battery. You didn't make
Did he?
one. We'll just go ahead and say that your team is aware, because pointed out. It's fine. So there's no surprise here. So Scarin, you're up first.
Yeah.
You're acting at your pleasure. And of course, you're obviously not afraid of flying after them if they're going to already be engaging. They are, from your position, 70 feet up. How would you like to proceed?
Oh, he's muted.
He's muted, probably.
I'm not. You can tell how often I go first.
Never
Let's
was.
see. He will.
You will.
Yes.
You can ready an action. You can dodge if you're not ready.
He'll dodge.
Okay.
He'll dodge.
Defensively. All right. And you want to move back into some cover, like over here.
Right around the corner specifically, right there.
Yeah. Perfection. Try and keep yourself on a square though. Scarin done. Hummel, you are up.
I'm going to heroically also hide and take the dodge action.
Okay. Queera, looks like your team is moving into a defensive posture. You can kind of see straight up at them. Due to the angling, they have 3/4 cover, so you're kind of just seeing the tops of the red tops. Which means they'll have
okay.
+5 to their AC against any attacks.
All right. Well, we'll fire off anyway.
Which one did you want to hit?
The one in the middle.
Oh, the one in the middle. Okay. That'll hit. Go ahead and give me damage. Alright. Kind of catches him in his ear. You watch his ear just kind of just vaporize. And he kind of as the ear is taken from him.
Aww. And then we'll duck
Duck
into
back.
cover.
Okay. Sarah, you're up.
I would just like, cause this is where I'm at, right? That's cause I was stuck in the web.
Yeah, you are stuck in the web. Sorry, let's go ahead and resolve that. So you start your turn here. As an action, you can attempt a strength check to get out of it.
When you say check, it's not the same as a save. I
Correct.
don't.
So on the left side, you have all your attributes. If you just click the word
Yeah.
strength on that side, it'll do a
Oh,
just
okay.
ability check raw.
Gotcha.
17 is successful. You're able to move, but you have difficult terrain here. I would
Mhm.
say in your current position, you could move 5, 10, 15, so you can move here in front of him. And since your action was used to kind of pull yourself free from the web, that's as far as you'll be able to get.
But it would be in a hole, right? So,
No, you're on web.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I do want to move forward. Yeah.
Sarah done. Gil, you are up.
All right.
I like it.
Sorry,
Web.
I forgot to put web on map. Where there is web for
Spell-
map.
Spell templates. Good use of it.
Okay. Sure. Is Shillelagh, like, I can cast that somewhere else, or is that, like, next
Bonus
to
action.
me?
You can cast it on yourself. It's just a weapon you're holding. But again, it's
Oh.
specifically for melee weapons. bonking.
Yeah.
So due to the
I'm just trying to figure out what sort of range
got
I
a bow,
have.
right?
Yeah, I have a bow. Yeah, we'll get that out.
Sure
Shoot
no.
at the one with the. We'll shoot at Van Gogh.
Okay. That'll hit. Or no, sorry, that'll miss. You
Yeah.
got +5 AC because of cover.
And
It
then
kinda slams boing, onto the hull of the ship.
and then take cover or whatever.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
kind of like popping back to shoot up and then moving back against the 30-foot.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Okay, it goes to them. They are going to zero in on kind of the center of your group, and they're loosing these bolts. I need Cleara, Pommel, and Scarin each to roll a D100. Okay, so I need after that Scarin and Tommel to make a dexterity saving throw. Fail. Actually, advantage. You have cover. Or you took the dodge action. Sorry. And 16 is more than successful. Okay, so you watch Fiera as a single bolt drives itself into the ground near you, as if they just kind of shot blatantly, and you see the impact hit, and you see the tube kind of drop down. There's an ignition spark, but you see the rain kind of catch it and immediately kind of snuff it out. The same thing happens next to you, Tommel, and then you see one hit next to Scarin and kind of, from the outlet as whoosh, the bird flips behind the wall, and Tommel kind of just jumps in front of the wall, and the fire bursts out. You'll take half of the damage, which means you will only take 5 points of fire damage as it kind of bursts around the walls in that corner. 3d6 fire damage is what these appear to be doing. Same as the bomb. Alright.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, but again, because of the rain, it's a 50-50 chance that they even work. And they don't have an infinite number of cinders. Fire! Ah! But you are stuck in a web.
Yep.
Go ahead and make a strength check as
Okay.
an action to see if you can move. You can also act normally, but any spell attack you have disadvantage because, or any kind of attacks you make at disadvantage.
Yeah,
You're
so-
restrained.
Okay, so any check, right?
Yeah, strength check. Yep.
Okay, so. Darn, I guess I'm still stuck.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, you still have a bonus action and no movement because you're restrained. So I'm assuming you're sitting.
Okay. I could use spiritual weapon
Okay.
over
So
there.
What's its range?
60 feet. Hold on, let me go click on the thing here.
Okay. Due to triangulation and distance, they are 70 feet above you. So I would say if you want to go ahead and grab the token for spiritual weapon, I would say you can
Okay.
put it here, and it'll be 10 feet below them. So you can, on your next turn, I believe it moves 20, right?
Yes.
Let me make
The
sure.
token.
Move
We
up
have
to
a
20
token?
feet.
Yeah. So if you go into your handouts, you should see, or sorry, if you go into the character folder, there's one called Spell Templates. If you open that bad boy open and then go to second level, oh wow, there isn't one. That's my fault.
Wow.
Let me go ahead and just fail you more as a friend, as a dungeon master, as a person,
As a father.
as a father.
Oh.
Let me down, John.
I know, I did it again. I'm sorry.
We're used to it.
It's fine. Well, yeah, I let you down and I abused you. Those are the only two things that are constant.
True.
It's true.
A healthy relationship we have.
Okay.
It's so
Yes.
healthy. I'm getting set up. Hold on a second. And also, welcome to the party.
Is welcome.
All players. Bam. Ow. Bam. Tell me if you can move that around.
Oh.
Let me see.
Perfect. Go ahead and move back one more. There you go. Like I
Okay.
said, it's there and it's 10 feet below them. So on your next turn, according to
I
what
can whack 'em.
understand, you can move it. Let me just double check.
Yeah, I
it
can
20
move and
feet
whack.
as a bonus action and whack. Yep, perfect. So on your next turn, move and whack.
Sweet.
Scarin, you are up.
And now I'm ready. So a little note, he'll shoot up into the air and then over a bit to where he could see this goblin within 60 feet.
Okay, so you're going up, you said?
Yeah,
Okay, what's your flight speed?
it's for 40 or 50.
Sounds about right. Just double check for me.
On it.
Because it actually, it will make a difference.
Nope, equal to your flying speed, or equal to your walking speed, so it's 30.
Okay, so they'll still have the 3/4 cover, but so will
Yeah.
you, because you're not, you're probably not going to ascend outside of the wall space.
Okay.
So you'll move up 20, and then during your next turn, you can get out past they'll have cover marker, because you need to be at a height of 50 feet to be able to shoot them on kind of close to par. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And even to place something up there,
Oh,
It would still-
shooting's the only thing that has cover problems. So if you're casting a spell that's like gonna do a thing, you can
flame
see
sphere.
It. Yeah, you can see up there. The flaming sphere will probably
Okay.
drop on them, but yeah, because you're gonna cast it above and it'll descend.
Then yeah,
And I know I have a token for that one, right?
you do.
Thank goodness gracious.
And it's gonna be right, buddy boy here.
All right, so it's gonna drop down on a token or on its base. Okay. It'll be above him. Go ahead and click that spell for me, please.
I did, I think. Yeah.
Sure.
No, I didn't.
I got it.
I did. No.
Unoccupied space is key, so it won't be able to actually.
Well, it'll suspend
Yeah,
there
it's
till.
above him, so it's above him. That's fine because it doesn't actually say it has to be grounded, and then you can.
Oh, okay.
So your action is casting the sphere, right? And it's floating above him, so it's got them all in the flame or the heat, and then as your any creature that ends its turn, as a bonus action, you can force it down into him. So you can ram him.
In this turn,
Yep, as a bonus action. So you summon
Then
it
yeah.
and then ram.
then just.
Yep, so it's going to make a dexterity saving throw, which goblins are like to do. And it will succeed, DC 14. So double checking the wording, half on a failure. You rolled 5 on that damage, so hold on a second here. I'm gonna move your flame just a second. It'll take half of 5, which will be 2. Always round down. And so it still hovers above him. It slams down onto him. And you watch as his cap starts to burn and the wound of the ear starts to cauterize. And you can see his eyes kind of like watering as there's this fire above him. It's the saddest goblin. Anything else from you, Scaring? You have movements still. Oh, no, sorry. You moved up. Never mind. You're
Yeah.
up. Tunnel.
I'm good.
We're gonna pop that same one. It's 14 hit.
Hits against the boat. You notice that it doesn't seem to do much damage to the actual hull of the crab.
I'll step out from behind this pillar and get into what was clearly the better hiding spot of behind the wall where Skirin was.
Fair.
My turn there.
Cool. Tunnel done. Clear. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Pause.
I think.
John, can you do me a favor? Roll me a D100.
Okay, yeah. With the spear, it can stay there where he's.
Yeah,
Is that what you were?
it's hanging above him. It's not on him. You can't share spaces. The D100 was for something totally different, and it's not a problem. Okay. Sorry,
Oh.
go ahead.
Is
Yeah.
popping a flaming sphere on a guy holding explosive ammo a problem?
There are
John?
flammable things on them.
Okay,
So there's a chance of that, yeah.
cool.
Quiera.
It'd be a great way to
now I
get all
see.
the rest of the goblins up, huh?
Yeah, the firebolt's a little bit more directed, and since the only thing you can see of them is your head, so I didn't give it a chance. But like a big old fire basketball, you know. Yeah,
Yeah, it says specifically if
Just
it is
dribbling it on his
corner
head.
carried on Fireball too.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's. That'll miss.
Oh no!
Yeah, hits the side of the ship again. I'll explain what I mean after on the D100 roll. Clear done. Sarah, you are up, and you are still in the web, but you've already passed your strength check. I believe it reattaches though. If you end your turn in the web, so I just need one more strength check to get out of it,
Okay.
and you're no good. So you're kind of stuck in the web there.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to the club.
So I can't take any actions or anything while I'm here.
You can take a bonus action, but the only thing I think you have
Yeah.
is rage. You don't want to do that while you're in a web because
No. Or Polar Master, no.
Yeah,
It's
and
fine.
movement is.
To be fair, it is a dexterity saving throw instead of a
Dexterity?
strength. Because when you start
Oh.
your turn in this web, you do a dexterity
Well, I
saving
think
throw.
That would be worse for Sarah.
I know. I'm just saying for the
With
future
that roll.
reference, so you
Okay.
know if you break the restraint with strength,
Oh.
but
wait.
you start your turn
Yep.
in the web, then you roll dexterity to see if you get re-restrained.
Oh, hold on,
That's
hold on,
what's
hold on.
happening with Sarah.
And they have
no.
advantage on
Hold on.
dexterity check.
Yeah, I cheated you. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw because that would have happened at the end of the turn.
Meet to beat.
Yeah, you're out. So you're it's 14 with the DC, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you're out. You don't have to use your action this turn, so you still have it. Go ahead and take your turn
Yep.
at your pleasure. Sorry, I almost robbed you.
Yeah.
And I have full movement.
You're gonna be stepping out of the web, so yeah, 100%.
Full movement. Okay. Let's see.
So it'll be 5 into Gil space.
Oh.
It'll be 15 to get into the space above. Hold on, I got you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to move the web.
No, it's okay. It's not moving anywhere, so I'm just gonna drop it on the map. So it'll be 5 to get into Gil space, 10, 15 to get into the space that Cleara's in, and then it'll be 25 to get into the space you just moved into because you're squeezing through.
Yeah.
It's narrow.
Are these? Is anybody in total cover from me from here?
No. When you're talking about the goblins, they all have 3/4 cover.
Yeah, but I mean like, because I was thinking of using Storm Aura, but would that just give it to Scarin and Quiura, or would Gil get it too?
I believe that's
20 feet in the air, too.
Yeah, Karen's above you. I do
Oh, okay.
believe that that's only when you're raging. Let me double check. Storm Herald.
Don't think it. But I mean, if it's only going to affect one person, I wanted to use it for multiple people.
For sure, for sure. So starting at 3rd level, you emanate a stormy magical aura while you rage. So your storm aura activates when you rage, and you do it as a part of your rage.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So that effect is it only works
Yeah,
if
you're
you're really
raging.
mad at shit.
Okay.
And yeah, they're too far away for you to be proper mad at them.
And if I throw a javelin, that's 150 feet. I can throw it, or no?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's is
60
it?
slash 150, right? For javelins?
I don't remember.
Or
That sounds
3120.
3120.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
120 with disadvantage.
Yeah, so you'd be throwing up at them, you'd have disadvantage on the attack, and they have +5 AC because of the 3/4. But you can throw one.
Okay. Okay, I will.
Okay.
I want to do something.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you throw it up. It will kind of like get lost in the trees. That javelin just invisibly gone.
It's
Mark it off your
gone.
Mark it off
character.
Yeah.
You cannot throw that javelin again.
I will say that
Down to 3.
the strength was there. The aiming was not.
That thing is gone. It went. It went.
Like
Trust me.
there's like a sparkle off in the forest.
It melted into the fireball.
Yeah.
Grab spot slag.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so Gil, you're up.
All right, so he's gonna pop out from cover again and shoot
That will miss.
Claw. Then he'll go back into cover.
Okay. And then it will go to them.
Are they all within 5 feet of the ball?
They are. So Flaming Sphere specifically says any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere.
Ends. Okay. Gotcha.
Very, very important. This one here is going to, that'd be that one there, is going to reload and shoot, firing down at the wall at Scarin. It is actually making an attack. It doesn't look like it's one of the weird bolts. Your AC is +5 because you descended to a point where you can see them, but you're in as much cover as you can be, right? Okay. So I hit a 17.
So that would be +5. Or well, it'd be 18 plus.
So you're
Yeah.
18 if you have +5?
Yeah.
Okay. So you watch as it kind of hits the ledge, it kind of just breaks the arrow in front of you. The one that's in the fire is going to, I'm going to move the fire for a second, scream first, and then run.
Valid.
Taking the dash action as a bonus action, and taking the dash action as an action as well. It does that. You can see the light kind of moving around on top of the ship.
Oh jeez.
I'll move the fire back to where it was. And again,
Yeah.
these ones don't seem to be aware of the heat yet, and are still firing. So this one is going to pull one of his explosives and fire it down at Scarin. Again, just trying to hit close, which he does. I need you to go ahead and make a roll a d100 to see if it ignites first off, and then roll a dexterity saving throw if you roll under 50. Which you didn't. You watch it hit and kind of bounce off, but you see it kind of sit there for a second on the impact, and you can see the psh, and then kind of like this puff of smoke as the explosive arrow goes flying off. Cindrix, you are still in the web.
Gonna try to get out the red here.
Okay.
Okay.
Do they end within
and
5
hold
feet?
on. Let me not get you wrong here. So let's be sure we got you. You moved. Oh, you haven't moved. You haven't
No,
moved.
No.
I was,
I've always.
I was stuck in the red.
or-
Okay.
You're skipping Scarin's damage from the fire.
Oh, right. Sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead and roll the damage for me, please.
I got you, other John.
Thank you.
like fire.
All the Johns.
Some good damage on a goblin.
And it just happens. Correct. Any creature that ends gets a dex save. Okay. So boom and boom, and a DC of 14, and that would be a failure on both parts. And you got 10, you said.
Yeah.
So they fall out over and are just kind of cinders that fall straight down
Neat.
over the rails.
No pops.
You hear a nice like liquidy thunk
Cool.
when they like the.
Well, I meant for maybe any other
I more
explosives that
meant
they have on their person.
ammunition
Oh, no, no, no.
explosions. Okay,
No,
cool.
no, no. There was one left, and that got fired, and they didn't have them on them. They had them out on the deck, kind of like set on the ground ready.
Oh my god.
So there was a chance that that one blew up, but it didn't happen because of the flaming sphere. So Syndrix, sorry, let me not get you wrong here. So you haven't moved, so that you don't get a deck save like Zara got. So it's just straight to strength.
Still
Okay.
restrained from the initial.
Yep.
Still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but you can send the spiritual weapon.
I can
up
drop concentration. You're just gonna fall.
onto
It's
the
fine.
metal-
It's fine. It's fine.
onto the metal bar. But yeah, you can move the spiritual weapon. It's close enough that it can fly up and attack the one that's on fire, and the one being on fire kind of is highlighting right where it is. So,
It's gonna.
so go ahead and
it's
make
gonna
an
get
attack. And
it's gonna
I-
take the bonk.
Assisted targeting.
I am of a mind not to force any kind of raw wording on it. Just make the attack as normal. It's not restrained, even though you are. Hit
Okay.
and damage.
Boom.
The head being on fire, you kind of see it running around. You move the sweeping blade, the draconic kind of nail straight across the air, and you hear this kind of sing-songy slish, and then you watch as the fiery head flies off the edge of the deck, bounces here, and then falls into the hole. All right. So, with that being killed, that's it. That's it. There's no more. You take a couple seconds and breathe, and you realize that the cannon coming out didn't seem to do anything. Nothing's happening with that. And it's quiet for the next moment or so as you kind of wait. If you want to maintain your concentration on any of these spells, you can, but I think they'll all kind of pop out in about a minute, right?
Web's an hour.
No, Web's fine. Yeah, Web will be
Um.
there long enough for Syndrix to slowly but surely.
I forgot I had guidance, so I
Oh.
could have.
I don't know if you can guide
Oh.
yourself.
For
Yeah,
the
I
rest
think
of the
so.
minute,
It's-
Yeah, you can.
You touch one willing creature. Why can't you touch yourself,
Yeah,
John?
you can touch
Yeah.
yourself if you will.
Oh,
If
why
you
had
will.
to? Oh my.
Ruin his
I had
fun.
to Yeah.
Had to
might-
make it weird.
I might as well touch.
You played in games with me before.
What?
Johnny is too innocent for this.
Oh, I guess I'll
Earmuffs,
touch myself.
earmuffs,
Dang
Johnny.
it.
Willingly.
Oh,
Oh, why would I not be willingly?
Scared, what you'll note,
touch myself against my will.
Yeah.
what you will note is as you kind of come to this position, kind of look out, you'll see that there is the pit. And this is the pit that you heard the sound come from. So somewhere near here, there is the doors. The two.
a little flavor. I'll have the flaming sphere hover high above Syndrix's head,
Okay.
cover it for the rest of the minute, so it gives him a little bit
Oh,
of.
thank you,
Aw.
sir. I
a heat
appreciate
lamp.
it. Yeah, I much prefer this over the rain.
Yeah, it's kind of got like a steamy sizzle to it that's
Yeah.
floating there in the air. The rain.
Kind of like a sauna.
Yeah, well, the rain's hitting it and kind of like immediately vaporizing into steam. So it's just like floating through the air, and it's like this steamy ball of. Awesome.
He's happy for the rest of the flaming spear's concentration. Then he'd be grumpy again.
The pit does seem to drop off about 40 feet in, so it's actually at a lower level than the ground, you presume. And it looks like the spikes that are in it are all made out of wood, but are still holding quite an edge, sharp-wise. It looks like there is a small hole on the southern side, but you're not sure where that would lead. You can also see that the opposite side of the bramble wall that you encountered is about 10 feet down from your position, about where you would expect it to be. So it's kind of like right here.
So we got a good amount of 40. We got 40 feet down. Could I kind
You'd also
of
note
pop
that
in?
about here-ish there's another one of these small little holes.
Okay. Would I be able to like kind of like pop in and just kind of?
Yeah. So
Take a gander.
It doesn't look like there's much space for you to kind of land without kind of touching bars. So
Oh yeah, I just kind of wanted to hover.
sure, yeah, you can
Oh.
cover and check. To the north side, there is a doorway, and it looks like there was a door in that doorway, but it's no longer present. It looks like you'll have to
Okay.
kind of maneuver into the spikes to kind of get into it, but it doesn't look like it'll be too hard.
You said there was bramble. Did it come all the way up? Like, can we climb
That's-
down it?
That's under here.
So yeah, actually on this side, it does look like it scales down from the plant on top. So it does look like there is a large bramble like section, and it does look like it is climbable.
I
How high
also have
is this door?
Featherfall. We could just jump.
Was there any sort of orientation in that picture as far as like the picture of the spike pit?
Oh,
I think
So-
that was related to the steps.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
10
maybe.
steps. So I'm gonna deduct that this is the door we opened with
Yeah.
the rock.
That's a fair assessment.
When you fall with featherfall, can you like control where you fall so you don't
This-
fall on the spike?
This is the text.
It's
Does
the
say you
speed-
can land on its feet, but
The-
it's
the
not
speed will-
controlled fall.
be slower, but it will be straight down. So you kind of will hit spikes. It just won't be falling damage plus spikes. It'll just be spikes and slightly mitigated to the fact that you're not slamming onto them. So the outland looks like if they're going to try and land without hitting spikes, we'll need to make a check, acrobatics check, to land in the spikes. But once you're landed, you can maneuver yourself in the spikes without problem. It's just that they're very narrowly close together, so landing is going to be hard. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just not enough space to land around them.
Now for Sarah,
well-
as you're looking at it, like if you climb down, you can very easily guide your feet where you want them, as long as you're able to make the check to climb down. So the
I'm-
bramble wall climbing is one of the things I notated in my writing. So yeah, that's really good. Good catch.
I'll do it.
Nice.
Alright.
Wait,
Oh,
wait.
Take guidance. Take the
Wait,
guidance too.
hold on.
Guidance,
Uh,
guys.
hold on. So the other thing is, I can put down a floating disc.
Sure.
Would it block the doorway?
No,
like
so
how-
go ahead and throw up the
how
spell.
tall
And
is
we'll
the
work
doorway?
through it together. But another
It's
thing I
up.
want to note too for the stronger folks, another thing to keep in mind is if you can get a running start, which you do have enough room to do so, you can just jump over the spike traps or the pit and land on the opposite side, if that would be your goal, or if you can fly.
Are we trying to
Right.
get to that little door down there though?
I don't know where you're going. You can go where you want.
Oh, sorry.
If the door is your goal, yeah, you need to go into the pit. And there's one there. There's a door here, and then there are these small crawl spaces here and here.
I mean, I want to go in the door. We opened
Yeah.
it. Let's go in there. So, if I can drop a Tensor's floating disc down here.
Yeah, and you threw out that spell for me. Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna jump on it.
Like jump on it.
Right.
There's just no control over it. That's the thing
Yeah.
with
So you
Tensor's
can't,
floating
you
disc.
can't move it. That's
Right,
the other
right.
thing. So yeah, it's gonna remain behind you.
But what I'm saying is, if I throw it down, then someone can jump down onto it and not get spiked, and then just
No,
climb
sure.
down 3
But
feet.
like if you make it appear above the spikes, they jump onto the top of the spikes. They're gonna still have to jump down into the spikes. And again, it'll
But it's-
mitigate the falling damage. It will not mitigate the spikes.
But it's 3 feet.
No, I grant you. Yeah, it's 3 feet tall or 3 feet wide. So you're creating a platform on top of it. You can't create it inside of the spikes because it won't form. It doesn't have 3 feet to form.
Right, but then how if Sarah can climb down the wall and navigate the spikes and not get spiked, why can't
sure,
you just
sure.
climb 3 feet down and not get spiked?
Because you're not climbing off of it, you're jumping down into it. You can't climb off of that. Like the brambles go all the way down to the floor. So she has footing to maneuver. Whereas if you place something on top of it, yeah, you could slide in, but you're still kind of leaping down into it. You know what I mean? The spikes are not equal height. Does that
How
help?
tall? What's the tallest spike?
The tallest spike is about 6 feet. The shortest spikes are
Oh,
about
okay,
like
okay.
3 feet. Sorry, that's something that
Okay.
I didn't mention that was very important. I had it in my head, and it was not in yours. I'm sorry. That's my fault.
Yeah, I think we were all thinking bed of nails, and
No,
you're
no, 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 no.
thinking miscellaneous
Yeah.
spikes of like
Yeah.
abnormal shapes and
And-
sizes, and probably angles too. So it catches
Right.
like
Image-wise,
like
it's not perfect.
yeah.
Image-wise, it's not perfect. The best way to kind of imagine it would be kind of like the pit in Mortal Kombat, where some of the spikes, some of the branches are kind of brachiating out. Some of them are kind of like, yeah, once you're in there, you can navigate it. It's very difficult terrain, so it's like you're not going to move very fast. It's like, 3 spaces is 1, but you're able to maneuver through it. It's just that if you are falling into it in any way, there is a chance that you're getting spiked.
Okay, let's tie a rope to a tree to help Sarah maintain,
Sarah, if you want to make an
balance.
athletics check, it definitely looks scalable. Like if you want to take a rope with you as well, that's fine. That's fine also.
And guidance.
You're fine.
We'll your guidance.
You're fine. You make your way down, no issue. The climb does not seem too rough, and the only part that was hard, and again, navigable because you're moving into it, is the space at the bottom.
So me and Tomo are ready to feather fall anybody that fucks up their dex
Perfect.
check or athletics check.
Scarin, if you
Is-
want to make an acrobatics check to land in it, again, it looks difficult, but it doesn't look like it's so difficult that you can't do it. Again, the climb,
Yeah, I'll do acrobatics.
the climb was a DC 12. The acrobatics is a DC 10. I'm making it sound like it's like you're dead if you fall in. It's not it.
I'm
Don't forget
dead.
the. Wait, no, the guidance.
Scaren's dead.
We saw somebody fail.
Oh.
So you fly in, you kind of hit one of the spikes on accident. So you take 5 points of piercing damage as it kind of catches one of your wings,
Fuck.
and you kind of pull it off of the spike, and you're like, ah! And you
My
realize that
bum.
had you fallen from a height of 40 feet, it would have been a lot worse because you would have hit more than just like 1 or 2 spikes.
If people are feather falling in, I can't kind of like try to catch them to help them, can I?
How tall are you?
5'11".
Okay, so some of the spikes are taller than you,
Yeah.
by an inch or so. And if you were to catch them, gravity would cause them to come down
Oh,
onto spikes.
okay. All right.
So the spikes are still a problem.
All I'm imagining is the barbarian just piercing the bunny. Just like
And then just like,
straight
oh.
impaling
Back
it.
up and like,
You're
okay,
like,
back to camp. And then just put that
Like it just happened that way.
Spike out of the fucking
Oh,
mouth.
hell yeah.
I'm down to jump if you're down to catch.
No.
If you want to feather fall it, like, that's fine. I will allow for Sarah to attempt an athletics check to try and mitigate your positioning, but depending on how bad they
Kuyura
fail.
is pulling rank.
Okay.
We're tying a rope around the bunny and gently lowering Tomo into
Trust me to have fun.
Who is the one that
Into-
is lowering Tomo?
Kuyura.
Okay, so go ahead and make an athletics check as you try to maneuver him around like a bait on a hook to make him not fall into spikes, and then Sarah,
Okay, wait.
you're
This
kind
is
of
a bad
And,
idea.
I
and
do
I
it.
definitely don't
How
know
about
roll
I
up.
do it?
and Sarah. Again, the DCs are not high here; they're not massive, so you go ahead and
I
try.
know, but I have
with
a
the
really
guidance.
bad athletics.
And I can guide
How
you.
about I do it?
Guidance.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I can guide you.
You're stronger,
Gil is stronger than
Gil. Okay, Gil, you do this.
you.
Okay.
So Gil is going fishing.
And guidance. Okay.
Perfectly
And guidance.
fine.
Oh,
You
that's
lower the bunny. Sarah, you're there to receive the bunny. Move
Thank
into like
fuck.
a lower section, kind of catch the bunny, slowly setting
Ask
him
him
down.
of the Olympic torch.
Not onto any spikes. He's not dead. Alright. So we've got a bunny, we've got a Sarah,
Fantastic.
we've got an Alan. Now while we're down here, we've got more than half the party down here. Obviously you're focused on everyone else, but the doors to the north is directly underneath Yura, and then there's a small little hole here, which will require everyone besides Tommel, I think, to squeeze. And then there's also a hole here. So if somebody wants to, like, the people in the pit want to, fuck off and do something fun, you can. if you want.
I'm very curious about this northern door if Skirin wants to go.
Okay. We'll deal with you in a second. So for Cindrix and Gil,
You put the bunny down. It's gonna hop away.
do you want to wait?
Into the bunny hole.
Do you want to wait a second while they go into the door, or do you want to try and figure a way down? I can switch tack. Which one?
Let's see what happens when Tommel goes into the Tommel-sized door.
Well,
Okay.
this door is normal size. This is not.
I went through the normal size
Oh,
door.
okay.
Oh.
It didn't seem fair to go through the Tommel size door before you even
shit.
made it
Oh.
down.
So inside of the space, you can see that there looks like there are torches lit, brightly so. Looking
This
at
is
them,
fucking
they
cool.
Very similar. They have a very similar flame to them in that they are smokeless and bright, similar to Cindrix's cape. They appear to be continual flame. There is a massive pool of water to the west and a massive pool of water to the northeast. It does look like there's a wraparound to a door on the south side there that is open, but the door on the north side is not. And from your knowledge, just thinking about it in a kind of intelligent person's mind, if this door were to open up, it would lead right into the pit underneath the metal bar, unless there's some shenanigans going on here. I mean, not far out. Like, it's like 5 or 10 feet until it's like Pit City. So there can't be much beyond this door, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any shinies in this room?
Yeah, so there's a massive looking, like, shard of what appears to be like blue colored obsidian sitting on a bench underneath this light here. There are also blue robes that are kind of half in, half out of the water. The water is completely still, doesn't look like it's moving at all, and you can see that there appears to be kind of jets inside of the water where water would spill out. And
Ooh, jacuzzi.
Your immediate thought is that these water wells were stopped from being flowing by the rocks outside, and are the reason that the doors are open, because you can kind of see the mechanism in the walls and in the doors. Also, inside of this space, there is a massive lever, and I want to make sure you understand, this is going to be a very common feature throughout this entire dungeon. But the lever appears to be metal with a wooden handle set inside what appears to be like a very just ancient, old kind of Basriel style lizard face, kind of like, and then it's like, so it looks like you can pull the lever down in the lizard's mouth.
Okay.
Or dragon, depending on, like, it looks lizardy.
Because I'm attracted to shinies, I'm gonna pick up that that shard and show it to Tommel to see if it's important, or if I can keep it.
Tommel, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Does Detect Magic see anything?
It does have a faint magical aura, but it is not a magical item. It is a magical
19 on the Arcana check.
element. The material that she is holding is known as Blas, B-L-A-S. It is a type of stone / metal that is very keen on holding an enchantment. It has a almost natural, supernatural, like, just effect that it has just naturally. The blade that she is holding would be counted as a dagger, though it's quite big, kind of like a long knife. And magically, it is considered to have the Blas trait, which means that if it strikes something, it deals an additional 1d6 cold damage. Blas is also known as frost metal, or steel ice, also other different names. I don't know what the Jernaran one is, I'll have to look it up. But yeah, Blas, B-L-A-S. Cool.
Yeah. Tommel shares all that.
Cool. That's nice. Sorry.
Great.
Did a fun-
No, that's okay. We have to keep the audience happy.
Yeah.
I know what they're here for. It
Right.
kills me a little bit inside, but you know.
The torches in the sconces look like they are secure in their positioning. Like they are made out of jeweler's brass, and they look like they're solidly metal posts with the continual flame cast upon them. So removing the torches from the sconce is impossible without a lot of effort from like a really trained artificer. Which you have. I mean, you can certainly do it, but it's going to be like an hour or two.
Right.
But yeah.
I'm sorry. What am I doing?
Oh, you're not doing
Nothing.
anything.
It's not worth it.
Okay. Okay.
That's the point.
Okay.
Um.
Do you pull the lever?
No, this character's smarter than that.
Does Sarah pull
He
the
said,
lever?
sadly.
No, Sarah's holding the dagger. She's going to wait until.
Okay. Then
She's focused on the dagger more than she's focused.
Tom will tell you about it, and then as that's
Yeah.
happening, does Scarin pull the lever? I must tempt all three.
He will investigate the lever more.
Yeah, it looks like a lever, and as I described it,
Sweet.
lizard rock face with a. What we're calling it.
Are you
is-
sure there's nothing more there?
It is the storm lizard's
Not
mouth.
until you pull it.
Is what
He's not
historically
pulling it.
you will refer to it as. It is a storm lizard's mouth.
He's curious, but does not want to do it.
Okay. Sure.
Yes,
Positive.
100%.
God, why won't anybody fight? Okay, so then back
I
outside.
need-
Do you
Because I'm not down there.
Nobody lets me.
Just dive in. It's just a quick 40-foot fall into some spikes, and then you can make your way in.
Yeah.
Or you can climb down like Sarah did. You stall
Yeah,
her and
you
do
can
a
make
go
that.
fast.
Yeah, he'll probably do that.
Okay, strength athletics check. Go for it.
Guidance too.
Yeah,
With
you got
guidance.
Guidance.
Cedric's. Go.
You go.
Go.
You got
Salon.
this.
Yeah, you're fine. You make it in. You pull the lever if you want.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Still just walks in and goes, ooh!
What's that? I mean, I feel like he would like look around first and then
And
be
then
like,
it's like,
"Oh, what's this? Maybe it's a hidden door."
And
Or
so,
a shh.
Gil does look like he is going for the lever. Does anybody wish to stop him for whatever reason?
Absolutely
I just-
not.
Okay.
No.
Tommel is the kind of character that doesn't pull the lever. He pulls out his notebook and gets ready to take notes.
Then this one's easy. This one's
Karen
easy.
will jump forward and
That's
grab
okay.
Gil's hand and look at him and say no.
Once. Okay, so
Oh.
you're being stopped, Gil. Are you going to pull it anyways, or are you letting Garen stop you?
But is Quiora down here
Not yet.
yet?
It's Cedric's.
He'd be like,
You
"You're
can't get in
up!"
trouble yet.
Not down there yet.
I'm gonna say, please, 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 please do not pull that lever.
Why?
If I were to think what it's gonna do, there's jets in these pools, and those doors close via
Come
pressure plate.
on. Just pull a lever.
Let's just sit back
All right.
and wait
You're
for.
up!
Hold on. Gil, you know you could outstrength Scarin if you want to do.
I know I could break the burb, but I don't want
Okay,
to.
fine.
What if you used your whip to pull it?
There we go.
Oh.
Smart thinking.
Do you want to try and pull it
Pulling
from an
the-
outside
still
position? Is
pulling
that
the
what you
lever.
want? Like stepping
Yeah, I
outside?
mean,
Tommel just.
Yeah.
Or pulling it from outside?
Tommel's getting
I'm out.
bored. Tommel's going
I'm
to
out.
check out the Tommel-sized holes because there's other things Tommel can do.
We'll discuss those momentarily. And then, do you want to check the one on the east side or the one on the south side first?
I imagine the east side is closer to the exit of the door I was at, so Tommel would go
You
left
see
first.
Scarin, scared, looking back into it as if someone was going to do something crazy. You step outside and you see it. You're directly under the ship, and you also see that there's a tent here. The tent does appear to have light kind of glowing out of it.
Is there any movement?
No,
Okay.
it looks like there's like a lantern inside.
Can I move to the tent? Is there a path that way?
Yeah, it's kind of hopping over a little bit of roots and stuff, but yeah, it looks like the front of the tent's here.
Sure.
If I'm looking into the thing, waiting for Gil to pull the lever, would I hear him doing skittering over there?
You see him, like a big bright blue hat flops out of a hole.
Well, I'm looking in.
Then,
I'm looking
you
in
know-
here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, again, you would hear him, sure.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
You know where he's going. We'll get to you here in a second, Tommel. And are we doing the whip trick?
yeah.
Cool. It opens, the door on the north side, and there's an immediate kind of flood of air that kind of enters into the space as you realize it's a small little hallway that's not mapped that leads out over the pit. Inside of that space in between, on the right side in the hallway and on the left side in the hallway, are small little alcoves.
Ooh.
On the left side, hanging aloft on a small pair of nails, is another freaking dagger. This dagger appears to have a jeweler's brass blade. That was a sentence. Sitting there, and it looks like it has a crease kind of blade. This looks like a sacrificial knife. On the right side, hanging in a small little like cup of jeweler's brass, sitting on top of it is a stone, very similar in shape to the stone out there, that appears to be made out of solid black onyx, and there appears to be a small cat-like shape kind of drawn on it.
Okay, he will definitely take that. Can I check it to make sure it's not rigged like in Indiana Jones?
You can check it. Yeah, investigation.
I don't have that trained. Am I still able to
Yeah.
do that?
It is not trapped like Indiana Jones.
Okay. Yeah, I would like that.
You pick it
I
up
would take that.
and make it. No, I'm kidding. It is not trapped like Indiana Jones. You pick up both, and neither of them are trapped. So you have the sacrificial knife and the Arcan stone.
Which one was the cat?
The onyx.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is
Was
oh
it?
my god, what's his name? It's right on the tip of my brain. I'm looking it up.
Hoagie?
Harkan. That's
Harkan.
right. Got it right.
Arcan.
The chaotic evil aspect of the illusion.
Oh, that's because it's on the second, literally here. House cat, self-centric, deceptive. Okay. It was on my other page. Okay.
Yep, nothing happens with the water, nothing happens with anything else, it's just that. You've got the two robes I mentioned, you already picked up the Bloss knife, and, yeah.
Yeah, Gil will walk back out with the stone and just like look at Scarin and be like, "What?" Like it didn't do anything.
Hey, look. You know, better safe than sorry is all I have to say.
What's going on down there?
Dave's not gonna find Cobble. Hey, Yura! I got another one of them stones.
Cindrix, can I get your blessing
Oh, of course. You got this.
in the name of Soland? She says sarcastically, and
Oh,
then
Oh, you-
and then grabs onto the rope and starts to make her way down.
Okay.
Oh no.
Go ahead and you're doing the wall and kind of lowering yourself, so it's an
Yeah.
athletics check. Yeah, you're good.
Thank fuck. Okay.
I guess Cinders will follow through too.
Athletics.
Hold on, guide me. Let's see. Athletics.
Oh
Guidance-
my
Guidance
god.
isn't held in that, bud.
Featherfall. Featherfall.
Well, it's not so much the fall, it's not gonna, I mean, again, though.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, stop
he's
the fall.
climbing down, hold on, he actually did fail by more than 4, so are you going to feather fall, because he is falling?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so he's just going to take the spike damage, which is going to be a nice low roll. It's going to be 4 damage, 4 piercing damage.
4.
You kind of hit one of the things as you're slowly descending down. Okay, I'm going to slap back around to Tommel real quick. You move to the front of the tent. As you're moving, you can actually see like the side profile of the tent. You can see that there appears to be a humanoid-sized individual inside of the tent, kind of moving about. Do you wish to like kind of stop and start moving quietly as you make your way through, or are you going to continue just walking up? No big deal.
When you said medium size, not goblin size,
Medium.
right?
Yeah. Well.
Because you
Nice.
said humanoid, so but
Yeah,
that's
humanoid. Go ahead and make a perception check.
18.
I was intentionally obscure. So it appears to be medium-sized, but it's because the way the light is playing. It is definitely a smaller sized creature.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like when like the shadow comes.
100. Yeah, that's why I asked that question specifically, because I was
Yeah.
assuming there was going to be some sort of distortion of the shadow against the
You
thing.
got me on my ass.
Tommels, I picked a smart character.
Do you want to make a stealth check as you make your way to the
Yes,
front?
100%.
Go ahead and make it.
14.
Okay. Doesn't seem like there's any reaction on the interior other than kind of
Mhm.
initial reaction when you first kind of like, and then bunny rabbited forward quietly. So as you come around to the front of the tent, you can kind of see inside. Sitting inside is a goblin, slightly taller than regular goblins, but not like, actually medium sized, still on the kind of high end of small size. He's wearing bright red leather armor. He appears to have several tools about his space. And the other thing you notice is that sitting inside of the space with him, kind of laying on the ground near him, is an individual wearing the blue kind of attire of an excavator, one of the members of the League of Restoration. You can't tell who it is. It just looks like they're laying down on the floor in the tent. And he looks like, again, you don't have his name yet. That's a part of the handout that kind of sucks. But
That's okay.
You do see him looking like this guy. And yeah, he's got tools and stuff. It looks like he has explosive devices kind of around him, but they don't look like they're the kind of cheap materials that were being used by the people upstairs. Looks like these are a bit more sound. You're not going to toss a match in here and kill him, is what I mean.
Yep. And he's not saying anything.
He's just there. It looks like he's tinkering. Yeah, he didn't notice you, so.
I have a question. If you cast a spell and a creature fails it, do they know you cast a spell on them?
Yeah, especially if it has verbal components.
Cool. Okay. Even from 30 feet away outside of 10?
Even if it has,
Okay.
yeah, it's verbal
Just
components.
making sure.
Again, most people think like verbal components.
That's why,
is-
yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's a class feature. That's its own thing. Like if you're casting a spell, it's like bombastic. I am summoning forth the winds and or
Of
whatever.
course.
Yeah. Big over the top.
Bombastic side eye.
Bombastic side eye.
Bombastic.
I think my best move is to try and hop away here
Okay.
quietly and try and get back to the rest of them.
Yeah.
And
Gosh,
let
I'm
them
sorry.
know.
You know you can actually just go this way. Like there's a doorway.
Oh yeah, I guess. It's the easy way. So there's like a one of there's like a goblin with like real bombs in the tent out there that has like a guy. Think it doesn't look good.
Well, that's gonna be a problem, probably.
Feel
We
like
should
we
go
should deal with it sooner rather than later.
Right, we should go say hi.
So you're, as you're kind of getting ready to step out, Scarin, you kind of hear something, kind of like a wet kind of thud sound, and then you hear it again, and you hear it again. And when you kind of turn and look, you see that 3 ropes have descended down from the boat. And it looks like there's a number of people up at the top on the railing, kind of looking down as if they're preparing to descend. And that is where we'll end the session for tonight. Thanks for watching those that did, and we'll pick up next session as the Red Tops engage more thoroughly with the League of Restoration. Thanks for watching.
Wow.
I don't know.